Oh wow, that's wrong.
China.
No, what happened?
You did a whoops.
Yeah, I did. That looked about right. Maybe it's too high.
Yeah.
I feel like I got to start all over and learn how to freaking do everything again.
It's been that long, huh?
Something like that. So normally I have all these windows already all set up, but I had an electrician over like right before I started, so dinner was a little bit late. So I'm just running behind. But then again, that seems to be normal with me.
Yeah.
I don't need the chat button anymore, so I'm going to slide this over here. Drag this over. Alrighty. So, St. Patty's Day live stream. First live stream in the new house. Nothing is set up at whatsoever. I'm literally working on one of those stupid plastic, like fold up, like tables you take to like picnic things and shit. Like my computer, my monitor, my keyboard, mouse, and speakers are all set up on one of those. I have my computer over here is literally just on like a wooden end table type thing.
Mm-hmm.
My desk is over here in pieces. I don't even know if I'm ever going to even set it up because I'm looking at this room and where I have it at, and I can't see any way that I would enjoy setting it up because it's just like the shape of the desk is wrong. Like I need like the bump out part to be on the opposite side, no matter where I put it in this room. It's just ugh. But
Ugh.
yeah,
joys of moving.
Yeah, I might just end up building my own desk, which I was thinking about doing before I moved anyway. Because then you can put stuff where you want it.
Yeah.
And you can build it to, well, not that I'm keeping this tower, but yeah. And I found my little buddy. He made it out of packing already. A little Irish bear.
Oh.
Yeah. So what's new, everybody? I haven't seen you guys in like 2 weeks.
I mean, we're gonna find out what's new.
Oh yeah, we'll get to your new
everyone
later.
else is gonna find out what's new.
We'll get to your new later. Hold on, I want to put.
Right, hang on. Actually, something I can tell right now is it's not gonna be the best angle, but shiny stuff.
Oh yeah, you got your new computer stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, wait, hang on a second. I can make it do something I know you're probably gonna like. Give me a second.
I don't know if anybody is this chat working? Like on screen chat?
This one?
I don't think anybody's typed anything yet.
Let's check it out.
Right, here it is.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
Mine does the fancy. Actually, mine's in full Rainbow Pride mode at the moment.
Rainbow mode.
It's because that's what it defaults to when it's off for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing we need to do is everybody that has made it to join us first thing gets loyalty bonus.
Sweet Jesus.
Hey, Chris.
Well, actually, no. I could do that because that means I can get rid of this. Hold on. You're gone. You can stretch all the way over here. So can you. Because I have the chat. Right here. Okay, cool. Loyalty. Add points to all viewers. Do 50 points.
Points.
50 points. Hey, Graham, welcome back. It's been, what's new? I'm in a completely new environment. That's what's new.
Yeah, pretty much.
I need to find an. Can you use a USB extension with webcams?
Should be able to.
I'm gonna have to go get a USB extension because my computer is all the way over here, and like you could literally use my wire for my webcam right now as a tightrope, stretching all the way. I had to actually move everything. I had to move the computer that way, and I had to move the desk this way to be able to reach the tripod.
Sweet Jesus.
All right, let's see. Sign into chat. I am signed in. What the hell are you talking about? That was the whole point. I didn't want to have to open up another window to chat. All right, you're retarded. Never mind. I guess I gotta have my own chat window anyway. Oh shoot, where'd that go?
Places.
Yeah, it did. My Hopefully I didn't just disappear. Am I still streaming?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I accidentally closed the YouTube Studio window. Because, you know, I'm epic like that.
Oh, fabulous.
Basically. Chat. You can go back over here. Like, whoever's watching this after it's live, I feel sorry for you because the fact that the beginning of all of our live streams are just so like discombobulated. It's the people that stick around for like the second hour or whatever that I feel get the best show out of us.
Stands to reason.
All right, come on, scroll down. Why won't it let me scroll? Scroll. Great. Now I have no scroll on this window. Why do I have no scroll on this window?
Are you focused on that window?
Yeah, it's still there's no scroll bar. Like I don't know why.
I forgot there was lots of 2 left in the board. I don't know what I was doing.
Oh well. We'll just stick that there. Put that there. Sorry guys, I am literally like rearranging. Oh no, don't blow up the whole screen. Okay, so car stuff. Not your car stuff yet, Biggie.
I know.
I know you're so itching. You're itching. How's the sound, everybody? Everybody good?
Yeah.
Good with me.
Good with me. Not any of you guys are actually watching the live at the moment, but all right. So, who has the most points anyway? Oh, Grimm's got the most points.
Wow, what a loser. Just kidding.
Grim says he's finally uploading videos that are over a year old. Yeah, I know how that feels. In fact, I almost made a really, really big boo-boo. Anybody else use, what is it? The Microsoft's cloud service.
Drive?
What?
No.
One hate is the fact that it's automatically going through my stuff and uploading everything to the cloud. I only have, what, 500 gigs of space? Or whatever they give you for default. There's more than 500 gigs on this computer.
Yeah.
And it wants to upload everything. And then it says it's full of service, which then, you know, everything's all, like if you want to use PowerPoint or whatever, all that stuff's on the Google Cloud now. So you can't save anything. So then when I tried to start getting rid of stuff that was up on the cloud, it got rid of the stuff that was on my computer too.
Oof.
So it got rid of it. I just wanted to get rid of it off the cloud. Instead, it deleted it everywhere. And I'm like panicking because guess what it was?
Your videos.
All of the pieces for the video that I just got done scourging off of that corrupted hard drive.
Jesus.
I was in full panic mode at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, it would be today. trying to get these, and I realized that they were all still in the recycling bin, thank God. And I was able to, it got rid of like the aisle, everything that was on my desktop, it got rid of.
They got rid of S. Well, did they get rid of it or just get rid of the shortcuts?
No, it
Oh,
deleted it.
oof.
So I luckily that it pulled it back out of the, I pulled it back out of the trash and put it back up on the desktop and turned off as much as I could of the OneDrive.
Yeah.
And threw everything from the OneDrive folder back over to actual like on the computer folders. I said, you know what, I'm done with it. The only thing that's on my OneDrive right now is all the stuff for Streamlabs because that has to be on a OneDrive. So that way, if I open up Streamlabs on another computer, it can access it. Oh. But anyway, so let me read the comments. We know that Kip is here from American Bumper to Bumper, and I apologize.
Yeah.
I have missed every single one of your live streams for like the last month.
Hey, you've been busy.
Oh my God, it has been insane. Every single and Straight Six fan too. Him and an Old Car Auto guy. I've missed every single one of their live streams as well. I have not sat down and been able to join a single live stream. I joined Alan's one the other day for like 5 minutes. But I've always been, like, when you guys are going live, I'm always, like, in the middle of the Walmart. Or, it's like, no.
That's a dangerous place to be right about now.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
I am so sick and tired of hearing about the coronavirus. Literally sick of it. Okay.
I can hear people asking for fucking toilet paper.
Yeah, but the thing is yes, I understand that it's a dangerous virus. But there is literally nothing more that you can do to prevent yourself from getting this virus than you were supposed to already be doing because of the flu season.
Well, the thing is, it's actually not any, from everything I've looked at, it's not anything closer. The regular flu is more deadly than this thing is.
No, well, I'd have to disagree, and it's because of just doing research. Its death rate compared to contraction rate is a lot higher than the flu. If you get it, it's more likely to, depending on your age and your immunity, whatever, you're more likely to die from it than you would if you got the flu and had the same immune system. But it's not as communicable from what I've heard. You're less likely of a chance of actually getting it than you would the flu. The flu's more contagious.
Yeah.
But it's less deadly. I did post online the other day about, the number of flu cases. And what I did is I posted the number of hospitalized flu cases, which you all know. How many of us go to the hospital because we have the flu?
Very, very few. Very
few of us. We'll just go do some shit and, ride it out.
Yeah, unless someone's got like...
So they took the number, the stat that I had up on my Facebook was the number of hospitalized cases versus the number of deaths. Okay, and that was for the 2019-2020 flu season. And then I took the number of reported cases. Well, obviously, the number of reported cases are going to be higher than the number of hospitalized cases.
Naturally.
And their number of death tolls. Now, the other thing I got to think about it is that's worldwide. The first number that I posted, which I'll have to go look up the article again. What I posted was just the United States for hospitalized cases versus deaths. There was like 17,000 deaths due to the flu. Over like, let's say 248,000 hospitalized cases. Something like that. Now, there's less than 200,000 cases worldwide of the coronavirus right now.
Yep.
And 4,000 deaths total worldwide. Jeez. Now, that hit a country with a population of 4 billion people first. They're saying they're over the hump and they've leveled out with how many cases they're getting versus, whatever. If we have under 200,000 reported cases, including a country with 4 billion population, it doesn't seem like as many people are getting the virus as they would have if they had the flu. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not deadly. That is not what I'm saying. I am not saying that. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be respectful of it. But my thing is we don't need to be panicking like we are.
Yeah.
And I'm really still stumped. What the fuck is toilet paper gonna do for you?
Where's he at?
I think it's everyone freaking out, like, oh, we're gonna get quarantined. We need to wipe our ass or something.
Yeah, but still, you can still go out and go get toilet paper. Plus, you know,
I get quarantined.
well, there's Amazon and drones, man. This is the
Oh, yeah,
21st
man.
century.
Yeah, but then you gotta. It goes from location to location. Like where I live, there's no drone program, no nothing. You're gonna have to wait.
I was
days.
Biggie. I was being a smartass.
Oh.
Yeah, I got
You
80
took that
rolls of
too
toilet
literally.
paper coming from Amazon.
Huh?
I got 80 rolls of toilet paper coming from Amazon.
Dude, I have not changed. I have not changed my shopping except for the fact of not being able to pick up certain items because they're nowhere to be found. That is the
Yeah.
only reason.
Well, that's the only reason I got it is that, trying to buy a 12 pack of toilet paper on Amazon was almost as expensive as getting the 80 pack.
After shipping.
Yeah, I mean it's like no, and then I don't have to worry about toilet paper for the next 3 months.
Right. Probably you can go through 80 rolls of toilet paper in 3 months. You're probably good for the next
Then
year.
we should be all right.
No, you got it right. There's 4 of us.
I got a
Might
family.
be 4 months, but yeah.
I got a family. That means you're going through 20 rolls of paper a month. That's almost a roll of paper
Easily.
a day.
For 4 people.
I don't know what size rolls of toilet paper you got, but I have people in my house.
We go through a 12 pack about every 2 weeks.
I think somebody. No, I'm not telling you how to live your life, but I think somebody needs to learn how to freaking learn how to conserve toilet paper because
That's a lot.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
even
it's
for
kind
5
of
people,
been
that's a lot.
that
I
way
mean,
ever.
Does nobody
ever since.
know how to do the fold method, or do they all do the let me get a basketball sized wad of paper to wipe my ass?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no.
That's what it sounds like.
Hey, I had to correct my kid. My kid was doing that shit. He was freaking using like 12 rolls of toilet paper for his little tiny butt, and he'd wipe once and be done. I'm like, no, I don't think so.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get like several wipes out of 2 sheets of paper, but that's just me. I don't know why we're talking about toilet paper and wiping ass, but
Yeah, right.
Because the entirety of the internet is.
Right?
We are on
I think we
YouTube.
scared everybody away. There's only 4 people watching. Darn it.
Everyone's like, oh, they're talking about toiletries.
I
Jesus.
know, right? Ew.
I thought this was garage talk.
Hey, anything can happen in a garage.
No,
Yeah,
you know
should
what's gonna suck? It's finally getting to be spring, and everybody's gonna be too afraid to take their cars out to go to a car show.
Well,
So I've been cooped up all freaking winter, just wanting to smell muscle car fumes, and I'm still not gonna be able to. Well, I mean, I can go to my own cars and go
Muscle
car
car
them,
fumes.
Yeah, Benny from Classic Ride Society is saying that they've already canceled a bunch of classic car stuff.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. And again, it's because people are panicking. It's because the thing is going outside right now. Other than the fact that the virus is a little more deadly, you are probably more likely to contact the flu than you are the coronavirus. And that's
Yep.
like I said, and I'm not saying that, again, I want to alliterate. I am not saying that people should not be concerned about the coronavirus. I'm just saying you're more likely to get the flu than the coronavirus.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but nobody panic buys a bunch of shit because of the flu. But we've been over this already.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've been enough on my sort of stuff to hear that
I'm moving.
I'm moving.
Yeah, I did hear that. I did see that.
Yep. So
is this going to be a better situation, or is this just we need to move?
we're hoping it's going to be a better situation.
It's going
to be a huge change for us going from Vermont to Tennessee.
Oh,
Oh,
Well, then I guess you're going to be down there with Classic Ride Society.
Yeah, he's Texas, but I know he comes to Tennessee for car shows and stuff like that. So we're gonna try and meet up when he's coming.
Oh, okay. I see what he says. I thought he said he was in Tennessee. No, he says
no.
you're going to go to Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm April 6th. I go down, and then in June, well, depending on when the kids finally get done with school with this stuff going on, the rest of them I'll come back up. We'll pack everything up and move everybody down. So I'm going down to find a job and place to live.
Yeah, I saw you're going to go down first, and they're going to come down later. You know what? The good I got a silver lining for you.
Yep.
You'll be closer to Cletus and Cars.
Yep.
You'll be
There you
closer to the Freedom Factory than I am.
Yep. I haven't done the check yet to see exactly how far Knoxville is from.
It is at least half the amount of distance than it would have been if you were to leave
where
you're at now.
Oh, God, yeah.
In case anybody didn't notice, I'm actually wearing a Cletus shirt right now. Actually, my favorite build that he has on his channel, which I don't know if it's ever coming back to the United States.
yeah, it is.
Toast. Yeah, it's on its way.
Okay, yeah, Toast is my favorite. I've always
Actually.
been a fan. Like I'm a Firebird guy. You guys know I am. I much rather have a third gen Camaro than a third gen Firebird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the third gen Camaro had a much better look than the Firebird did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I mean, if I could find a Z28 or an IROC in decent condition, the only thing I would do is a drivetrain swap.
Yep.
Other than that, I absolutely love the way those cars look. They're just severely underpowered.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
By the way, guys, happy St. Paddy's Day, even though that's tomorrow, not technically today. Am I right? Yeah. 16th.
I thought it was Tuesday.
I thought it was the 16th. Is it the 16th or the 17th?
I don't know. Hold on. Let me.
Because today's the 15th.
Yep. When is?
Pretty sure it's the 16th.
Patrick's Day.
I'm Irish.
17th.
I should know that.
You're off by a day. It's the 17th.
Oh, it is the 17th. Well, damn.
Yep.
I don't even know my own holidays. Well, anyway, this would be the St. Paddy's Day freaking live stream. Hence why my little friend is over here.
Yeah.
But and I'm drinking. Oh, I can't. Oh, you know what? Let's just do that real quick. Boop.
God damn it.
So what's in your cup there, Kip?
I actually don't have any drink.
Nothing.
I got nothing.
Oh wow! How do you?
I was
how do you
underprepared.
sit- I mean, not that I'm saying it needs to be alcoholic, but how do you sit in a live stream and not even have a glass of water?
Normally, when I'm on one of my own, I have one. But right now, I didn't grab one before I sat down and
See, this
said,
is
"Hey, I'm
where
in."
you have a house full of people. You should just reach out your hand, and then
Yeah.
it comes back and there's a drink.
Darling.
I've had that happen to me. I have only
Can I
had
get
that
some water?
happen to me once. Jess had realized I was out of a beer.
I'm out of
got
beer.
me a beer before I was out.
Yes, I'll get you water.
Don't forget to say please. Cup of air today or
I have a cup of almost air.
almost air. It's the new fashion,
Yep.
man.
Thank
Look at that.
you.
See? Look at that.
A little
It
more
worked.
air.
Stick your hand at a screen, come back. And look. A drink.
Guinness.
I think my collarbone just popped.
Ow.
It didn't feel good, that's for certain.
No, it did not.
Oh,
I'm still sitting here waiting for someone to I don't know why my feed is not like I had a shit ton of people join this month. We hit 1,700 subscribers. Did anybody notice that?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I hit 1,700 subscribers. So I know I had a bunch of subscribers, and the newest one that Streamlabs is showing up was a month ago.
ow.
Because normally what I'll do is I'll come in here and I will I will repeat the people that joined with it since last time that we were on.
Yeah.
And it's not giving me anybody, which kind of
Yeah.
sucks. I was kind of hoping that it would. I don't know how to refresh it, so. All alert queue, skip alert. Maybe if I skip alert.
Yours, I filled your milk and honey.
Yes, I did.
So
Yeah, no, it won't let me do anything. All right. Yeah, because it gives me something that gives me an excuse to play my little sounds here. I noticed that the one little you notice the one thing in the tip jar is going nuts in there. Looks like it's spinning like crazy.
Oh yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it do that before. Is there? I think there is a. No. Layout editor, studio mode. Can't help. App store. Themes editor. I guess there isn't.
I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Well, you do that. No, that's not what I wanted. I have no idea what I'm doing. Just in case anybody else wants to know, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, that's pretty much me every night.
Alright, let's get rid of that. Alrighty, so I saw that and Grim's drinking a Bud Light. I don't know if Classic Ride's still in here or not. But you know, you got everybody getting their C8s finally. I know that's basically old news because they've had them for like 2 weeks now. Right?
Yeah, say that again.
Everybody picking up their C8s.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I actually went and saw a couple of videos of Street Speeds, getting, it coming off the truck and then him driving away with it, or the first day with it or whatever. I gotta tell you, good looking car.
It's a good looking car. I do like the car. It's still a little funky shape to me. I gotta get rid of the what's in the cup here. It's still a little funky shape to me. But the other thing that I have an issue with, and it's nothing to do with the car necessarily itself, it's just the fact that it does not scream Corvette to me. It was like they did that to a couple other things. You know what I mean? It's like I said, and the thing is, it'll grow on me. It's not that I hate the car. It's a good looking car. But to me, the C7 is still, that's a Corvette.
Yeah, I mean,
The C8 it doesn't. I don't look at it and say Corvette. I look at it and say cool car. But the Corvette name doesn't fit it to me. But then again, I haven't driven one. I haven't seen one in person.
Yeah.
So
see, I've seen it. It looks enough to me like a Corvette, but it's far enough different that if you didn't know what like a 7th gen Corvette was, then and saw it, you'd be like, oh god, what is that, a Lamborghini or is that whatever? But I think it has just enough DNA that
to me it's like iRobot.
What are we talking about?
The C8.
Oh.
It's like that whole thing that's in your mind, you're programmed in your mind, that when you see something that's humanoid looking shape but something's off, like the spacing between the eyeballs, you just know something's wrong. That's what looking at the C8 for me is like. You look at it and there's enough there to kind of look like a Corvette,
Yeah.
but it's off.
Oh, definitely.
You know, it's like I'm trying to think of something else. It's like it's like a knockoff PlayStation or a knockoff Xbox. You know, it's just they tried, but they might have they almost would have done better not trying to make it look like a C7
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it is a different car, and they should have just owned that it's a different car because it's not the Corvette that people are used to, and the problem is that they tried to hold on to some of that Corvette, and it kind of made it look funky. I think they could have come up with better lines if they would have just started from scratch.
Yeah. That's yeah, that makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
it definitely the proportions definitely now that it's the rear engine are off, and it would have I agree
Yeah, the
that it would
proportions are
have suited
definitely
them better
off.
to do something really different. But
But again, that is nothing to hold against its performance because yeah, that thing's insane.
Oh yeah.
Performance wise, that thing's insane, especially for how much you paid for it.
Mm-hmm. It's unparalleled, performance for dollar.
And the thing is what you know what it's going to end up doing? It's going to make Lamborghini and Ferrari and all of them slash their prices.
No, it won't.
Oh yes, it
They'll
will.
just
No.
they'll just make something like really stupid and really exotic and really expensive, and people will buy it.
But the thing is
But-
what it'll do is like their average Lamborghini, their average mid-engine car, they're going to have to bring down the price because they got to compete with the Corvette now.
I think what'll end up happening is they're actually going to have to design newer, cheaper cars.
Mhm.
I don't think they're
Well, that's what
gonna.
I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're going to slash the ones they already have, but they're going to have to. They're going to have to come back down to that market because if you can pick up a mid-engine, really balls to the walls car for under $130,
Yep.
I mean $130,000,
Yep.
you're not going to want to spend $2,500. I mean,
$250,000.
You know,
Well-
for a car that the $100,000 car is going to spank.
Right, but there's a lot of people that are going to also say, "Ew, a Corvette," with that snobby,
Yeah, until it's
stuck up sort
passing
of thing, and they're still going to be, getting the Lamborghinis because Lamborghini has that name. But I do think that they will develop cars that will be more of a price point at Corvette because a lot of the your base model people, the guys that really don't care about whether it says Lamborghini or Ferrari on it but want something mid-engine that's fast, yeah, they're going to go with a Corvette.
Naturally.
Yeah, I mean, but I think you're going to see cheaper cars coming out of them.
Yeah, but how long is that Corvette going to even stay gas powered?
Yeah, that's a
Who knows?
very good question. I would be very surprised.
At that point, why did you even go mid-engine? Why did you spend
Yeah.
all that freaking whatever to go mid-engine? Because the electric cars, they don't care.
I think they're going to go hybrid with that, but the Camaro is going to go all electric.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
that's okay. I have my gas powered cars, and the only thing I can hope is that when the Camaro does go electric, that the price drops on the drivetrains for those gas powered ones. But I have a feeling it'll go the opposite way.
Yeah.
I have a feeling once they stop making gas powered Camaros, that drivetrain will go up in price. The gas powered.
I think as long as you have people that want to do the LS swaps, those engines are going to be a little bit more pricey because especially if they stop producing as many of them when stuff goes electric, that's when you're going to see the prices of them, stay where they are or creep up a bit.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm worried about because that is still my plan to go with the Nova, is to get one of those supercharged,
LSA.
yeah, the LSA blocks.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what I want. If I'm going to put an LS motor in between the frame rails of that Nova, that's what I want in it. If I'm gonna do it, it's not just gonna be like a little 3.8. You know,
How do
I'm
you
gonna
want?
put something that's going to hopefully scare the crap out of me.
LT4 out of the Z06?
No,
No, you want the LSA.
yeah, I want it supercharged.
Well, the LT4 out of the Z06 is supercharged. It's just
Yeah, but they're a
little bit
lot harder to
smaller.
come by.
Oh yeah, because they only put them in the beds.
Right. That's why I said the
Yeah.
LSAs they're in the Corvettes, they're in the Camaros, they're in the Cadillacs.
CTSV. Yep.
You know, second choice would be the 6.0 liters that were in like the Escalades.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can pick them up. They're in delivery trucks. They're in the Escalades. I'm not worried about the heads because you're gonna end up swapping out, maybe Texas Speed or something and getting aluminum head, redone aluminum heads for them anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I just need the block. I need the block. I need the wiring harness. I need the that stuff.
Yep.
Is there a putty tat? Is it all right? There is an equal chance of being in Big E's screen or Kip's screen that there was a kitty cat.
Yeah, it was Lucy.
It was your screen. My cats are if my cat's in this room, he'll be in front of me, laying on the black carpet in front of me. He wouldn't be behind me. So, but yeah, I have some pretty epic plans. I can actually hang merchandise and stuff like that up in here like I couldn't before. So I can actually have like my Trans Am poster actually on the wall. And then if I can get a USB extension long enough, I can actually move the camera back further too. And I have a perfectly legally obtained stop sign. Legally obtained.
Yeah.
No, somebody ran the shit over it. Ran it over, and before somebody came and reclaimed it, I claimed it. I did not run it over. Somebody else did. But I have a whole box full of die casts over here that are going to go up on the shelves. I don't know. I can actually decorate my space now to actually fit what I'm doing, which is going to be awesome. If you guys have not hit the like button yet, please do so. It really helps me out. And I'm going to have to get with Pete because Pete from Camaro Time. Because I have either the choice right now of going to Adobe or switching to DaVinci.
I'm gonna warn you with Adobe. If you're complaining about price, with whatever you are using,
I'm not complaining about the price with Filmora. No. My complaint is the fact of what I'm paying for and what I'm getting.
All right. Well, anyway,
the stuff that I was able to do with VDLC. Is that what the other one is? It's a free editing software.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
I could do keyframes with that.
Mm-hmm.
I could do a lot of things with that I can't do with Filmora, and I'm paying for Filmora here, but more polished. Because you can do a lot of things, but you can't do anything outside of the pre-programmed stuff that it has built in. You know what I mean? I can't. I have to stick with the movements. Like you can't tinker with anything.
Yeah.
I can't. If I want to move a picture across the screen, I have to pick one of its presets, and it can only move in the way that preset says it can. I can't use keyframes to make that element move where I want it to. So, like, if I have a scene and I want to put fire somewhere, I can't have that fire follow the object on the screen. It either stays stationary or I have to move it frame by frame myself, which really looks choppy.
See, I used Adobe from when I started the channel, and for me, anyways, at least with my brain, it was way too complex for anything that I wanted to do.
Well, I've outgrown. I started with Windows Movie Maker, and I upgraded from that to some ones that were on my phone, like Power Director, which is a great phone-based editing software.
Yep.
In fact, actually, you can almost do more things with that than you can with Filmora. But the problem I have, and then I upgraded to the whatever the hell that one was, the VDLC, whatever it is. I forget what it is. I upgraded to that. That one was free, and my problem with that one was I could only have so many layers.
Mm-hmm.
So that one you had to fill out a layer, finish it off, put it back in, and add another layer. You had to do it in stages, which was annoying. So then I switched to Filmora, and the only reason I picked Filmora over DaVinci is the fact that DaVinci needed Windows 10. And my laptop at the time could not upgrade to Windows 10, and the Filmora still worked within the boundaries of what I had hardware-wise. Now, Camaro, Pete is saying DaVinci is free. I know that I saw there is a free one, and then there is the there's one that's like $200 and some. I wasn't sure what the difference was. Do I need to pay for the $200 and some one? What do I get if I buy that? Because the website is not really clear on what is what, and do they have monthly payments, or is that $200 and some flat out? The Adobe I can get using the student license, which will cost me like $20 a month, $30 a month, I think, for everything, the whole Adobe Cloud. So that's Adobe, that's Photoshop, that's After Effects, that's all of it.
Yeah, definitely get it with a student, because I was paying $22 just for that program alone.
Yeah, it's $60 a month. It's $60 a month for the cloud at regular cost.
Yeah,
so
I've
done my research. The point is which trigger do I pull? I think what I'll do is I'll end up getting DaVinci for now and seeing how I like it. The biggest things I needed to do is I needed to do keyframing. Because when I went to go do the intro for the truck stuff, and I couldn't get the parts to move where I wanted them to, like I'm trying to create an intro, and I wanted the different pieces to come into the title screen at different times and do different things. I couldn't get it to do it. It was so annoying.
Well, good luck to you, figuring it out in
I love
Adobe, because
I love learning new projects. I mean,
yeah,
if Adobe is bad, so is Blender. Blender is another one of those. It gives you all of these tools, and you got to figure out how to use them.
Yeah. Adobe is a good program. I won't say anything bad about it. But for me, and my, for lack of a better word, ineptitude with this sort of stuff, it was just way beyond anything that I needed or had the comprehension to figure out how to do those sorts of things. And for me, $60 from Filmora, I'm done with it, and it's going to get me through probably for whatever I'm going to need for a long time.
I mean, Filmora free is fine, except for the freaking limitations it gives you for being free. I think it gives it does. I think it puts stuff in your. I forget what it does. It
watermarks it.
Yeah, watermarks it. That's what it was. And then paying for Filmora, I was happy with it at first until I outgrew it. Like when I first got it, this is easy, this is simple, this is better than what I was using. It's more intuitive. It's you know what I mean? It feels more like an actual editing program. And then I got to the point to where I hit a wall because the things that I wanted to do, it wasn't capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that just annoys me. Now I'm paying for something and I can't even do the things that some of the free stuff was doing. It was more of a pain in the ass to do it on the V whatever it was, but I could do it. And then this one, it's like, this is supposed to be a better program, and it can't even do this.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go back through the chat here real quick. I see Pilot says his engine is still not back in the Corvette. Maybe next month. Maybe he should try putting the engine in the trunk. That's where half of for a little while. That's where half of the parts for my Trans Am were. They were in the trunk. Same with the Nova. At one point, most of the engine was in the trunk. Everything but the block was in the trunk.
Now that, a rear engine Nova, that would get you some interesting views.
Well, I mean, granted, if I cut the floor out of the back of that Nova, I probably could put an engine back there. But no, I'm not. No.
Yeah, no.
And the weight balance on that car would be all screwed up at that point. It would be a wheelie monster at that point. It'd be like the Hemi under glass.
Yep.
Let's see. What else we got? We got talking about Charlotte and Tennessee. Kitty on the floor. All right, Da Vinci is free, but there is a learning curve. I'm fine with learning curves. Like I said, I tend to actually outlearn. I tend to outgrow the programs quickly. Pilot's retired. We knew that. Content is king. Don't even need fancy editing. I've grown my channel. I understand that. It's not. He's talking about the fact that content overrates quality. Well, yes, it does. But I don't necessarily have the content. Well, I have content, but I don't have. It's weird. I'm not doing it because of wanting necessarily better videos. I'm doing it for myself. I have. It's more of the artisticness in me that is outgrowing the programs, not necessarily the content on my channel. It's not that. I can't. Geez, I could go back to Windows Movie Maker and put out content. I mean, look at Send It Steve.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he uses anything more than Windows Movie Maker to do his videos.
I doubt it.
And he's pushing close to he's up there. He's pushing 100,000 subs now, close to that.
Yeah, last I knew, it was just under 100.
Right, and he still uses something similar to Windows Movie Maker. Basic editing, just cut, snip, all that. He doesn't do anything fancy. Maybe you put some text in it here and there, but that's about it. And the thing is really, if I really wanted to, that's all I needed either. But I want to try my hand at different things. So there's where the difference is.
Yep.
It's not that I need it. It's a want, which is why it doesn't make much sense to pay $50 a month for a program. $20, $30, sure, I could bite that. Because whatever. I mean, I looked into, there is a program that you can do like building projects on. Is it SketchUp or Sketchum or it's something like that? But it's basically kind of like kind of like CAD, AutoCAD, but more of a polished, user-friendly interface. And you can print out, whatever you make, you can print out plans to go to the hardware store and go pick up what you need, and you know how much lumber you need and all that stuff. And I was all good with that till I saw how much the thing cost. For an average hobbyist that's not going to be doing his videos full time on carpentry and things like that, or just me wanting to build a virtual desk and seeing how I liked it, it ain't worth it to me. To be able to get the full program, because you can get the free version, but the free version won't let you do things in 3D, and it won't let you print out plans.
You don't want to join me for Warzone?
So at the end of the day, that's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it makes you want to have to buy the full program. And just like a lot of other programs, you like before when you bought a program, you bought the program. It's yours. They don't do that anymore. Everything's all, you have it per month. You rent the program.
Mm-hmm.
It's annoying. Just let me buy it.
That's annoying, but by doing it that way, you also get all the updates and upgrades included with it.
Do you know what? When you bought Windows 10 or Windows 12, or not Windows 10, but Microsoft 10, Microsoft 12, whatever year you bought, you got all of the upgrades they did for that program included. They weren't on the disk. You had to download them off the internet, but you didn't have to pay for the updates. That's just a marketing ploy that they get you to freaking keep coming back and paying every month. Just if they had a totally new program, which is what they're not doing anymore, then you had to go out and go buy the new program. But if you wanted to stick with Microsoft Office 12 until 2018, you could.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to buy a program. You technically buy a program that you pay monthly for, and you got to think about it. If you have that program for 2 years, you've more than paid for that program that you paid for once before. It's just annoying. And the thing is the programs aren't any better, because stuff that I could do on my old my old PowerPoint, you can't do anymore on the new PowerPoint. And it was annoying. It was like, well, I used to be able to do this. Why is this one better? Oh, let's see. I'm here ranting about computer programs on an automotive channel. There are several things to do with paid version, like a few auto filters and a couple other things. But with all that we do, no need for the paid version. Okay, that's actually good to hear. If you think of video editing and layers, you can do anything just like with Adobe. And you can keep. All right, that's. Thank you, Pete. That's what I wanted to know. Mid-engine, that boy. Yeah, sure. I'm definitely not going to mid-engine my Nova. I want my back seat, number one. I have kids, and I want them to enjoy the muscle cars. You gotta put that spirit into the next generation, or it's not gonna be there.
True.
That's a problem with a lot of society today. Is like the older people that are hoarding all of these old muscle cars and stuff and making them go price to the roof. They're killing it because of the fact that they're not getting this younger generation engrossed in it. They're not gonna, when these older guys pass away, there's not gonna be anybody that is gonna be interested in these cars. You're gonna have warehouses full of cars nobody cares about.
Yep.
And what's the point of them still being around if nobody's enjoying them? Just my thoughts.
No, you're absolutely right.
Pete says he doesn't think he could do Pete and repeat with Femora. I don't think you can. Like I said, I've run into a roadblock with Femora. Some places mounting and balancing up here is included when you buy tires. I think the shoot, what is that name that I go to? It's right down in Hamburg. Mavis still does mounting and included when you buy tires. Oh my God, that nightmare, that horrific repeating nightmare of Cash for Clunkers. Made all the prices of all the freaking decent freaking cars go through the freaking roof because there wasn't any used cars to go to.
Yep.
My shop still includes mounting and balancing with the price of tires, but it's a small town. Yeah, we have mounting and balancing including up here. Yeah, Pete, we have mounting and balancing for free, included if you buy the tires. Now, obviously, if you bring a set of tires to the shop, you're paying mounting and balancing. Versus if you buy whatever tires that they have, they include mounting and balancing. But you know what? I think all they do is they upgrade the price of the tire to reflect the inclusion of the mounting and balancing, and they say we include it. But in reality, all they did is inflated the price of the tire to the point to where it covers the mounting and balancing.
Yeah, shops aren't stupid. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. They can't do that. Charging to dispose of tires, even if you take them with you. No, they can't because that's charging for a service they're not doing.
Yep.
That's actually theft. I mean, it takes somebody to call them on it, but yeah, they're not.
It's the exact opposite of theft of services.
Well, no, it's not theft of services. It's
I said
theft.
it's the exact opposite.
Right. It is actually theft. You're stealing money from somebody because you're charging somebody for something you're not doing.
Yeah.
That would be like charging somebody for an oil change you didn't do.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time someone's done it.
Oh no, freaking those quick change places, they're known for doing that.
Mm-hmm. They'll just get some brake parts cleaner and clean up the oil filter, make it look all nice and new.
Yep. They're known for doing that. I'm sorry, but Better Business Bureau, man. All it takes is somebody suing the shit out of them for charging them for disposing of tires that they didn't dispose of.
Yeah.
All the shops say is it's a federal mandate that they have to charge for them. No, it's not. They have to charge again, and no, it's not. Shoot, I'm sure somebody can look that up for her because I don't want. If I touch the screen, I'm gonna freaking screw everything up. What are we up to? We're down to 6 people again. I gotta find some way to attract more people into this show, and I'm horrible at self-marketing.
Yeah, when you figure it out, let me know.
Yeah, I don't know, but you can get some people. Nothing to knock against some other YouTubers, but I watched another YouTuber that I actually like. I do respect him, but I watched him just pay an absolutely ridiculous amount of money for a streaming computer. Granted, it's a sweet piece of machinery. Way more tech than he needs for what he's doing. I mean, he's got a computer that could, fucking play any game out there today at ultra settings. And I don't know if he paid somebody to do his background or got a stock one from somewhere. But I'm just looking at it. He literally just started streaming not long ago, and I don't know, it just makes me almost jealous at what money can buy you versus actually just, doing it. I mean, it's all well good and easy to throw money at something and make something look nice versus doing something with nothing. And that is unfortunately that's where the difference is between people that normally go big. They have money to throw at their YouTube channel left and right.
Yeah.
If you're constantly throwing money at your channel and you don't give a shit about whether you're getting any return back out of it, at least right away, you can grow pretty big because you're always doing something. You can buy that fancy new car that everybody wants to go check out. You can buy all the hop up parts and things like that. But it is kind of frustrating sitting here knowing that I literally have to budget spending money on my cars.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked a while back, when's the Nova project starting? The Nova project will start, when it thaws enough out that I can get the Nova out of the backyard it's sitting in. Because if I were to try to go back there and go get it now, I have a feeling there will be several stuck machines back behind this person's house and a couple deep ruts. Because it is in the back of somebody's yard up a hill.
Yeah.
And if anybody knows anything about Pennsylvania this time of year, the ground is softer than a freaking swamp in Florida.
Yeah, and I definitely know about that up here. We're in the start of our 5th season, which is mud season. So yeah, I definitely know that.
Yeah, this is definitely mud season. You're still fuzzy there. You're getting worse.
I can't figure out which way it's got to go there.
Just need to get yourself a freaking $60 new webcam.
Well, I mean, there's something else I got to spend money on in the near future. You know that.
Yeah, we'll get to that
Yeah, eventually.
eventually.
Anyway, we were talking about cars earlier, weren't we?
Somewhere. We got sidetracked.
The new Koenigsegg.
I haven't seen it.
Ah.
I've been living underneath of the shelf for the last 2 weeks.
All right, hang on. Let me spell it wrong. Secondly, let Google.
You're gonna pick up a Mini Cooper?
Yeah, totally. Wait, no. Wait a minute.
I know my AB3s and my 1.2Cs.
All right, let me get an image.
I got
of
my
it.
edumacation.
All right, be prepared for some screen sharing.
Woohoo!
I know what screen sharing does. Darn it.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty fucking sure.
Ta-da!
Hunter.
Oh my god, it looks like a Corvette.
I mean, does it though?
Put the doors down. It doesn't look different than the Lamborghini or the new C8. When all the exotic cars start looking alike, you know there's trouble.
I guess,
And
but
how many millions of dollars is this thing going to be?
This thing is all electric, isn't it?
No.
No. Oh no, is this that one with that ridiculously tiny engine that makes a freaking obscene amount of power?
It's not. It's ridiculously tiny. Holy crap! The animations on this are good. But oh crap! Where'd that go?
Yeah, I'm not getting sponsored for this.
GT.
No, I'll just stop sharing then. Gosh, diddly darn it! But this car is hybrid. It has a 2-liter 3-cylinder engine and 4 electric motors, making a total of.
Archetype.
Yeet. Well, 4 electric motors in the engine.
You're gonna get attacked again in about 10 seconds.
Make. Yeah, you know what this is, don't you? Be gone, thought. I have another one too. Looking at it like, huh? What? Anyway, 4 electric motors and the internal combustion engine making about 1,700 horsepower and 2,500 foot-pounds of torque between them.
So somebody smacked the ugly out of the Cybertruck.
I guess. The really interesting thing about it, I think, is the 2-liter engine, the 2-liter 3-cylinder engine, makes 600 horsepower, and it's an inline 3 engine with twin turbochargers.
So somebody stuffed a lawn tractor underneath of a freaking $500,000 car and slapped some turbos on it.
All right, so here we go. This is like specs from their website. What? Oh, apparently the engine's internal name is Tiny Friendly Giant. I shit you not. But it's internal
I
combustion.
hope not, because I'm out of toilet paper.
All right. 3 cylinders, internal combustion, 9.5 to 1 compression ratio, 95 millimeter bore, 93.5 millimeter stroke, so just a little bit over square. No camshaft either, which is huge.
Pete already said that. Pete beat you that like 5 minutes ago.
Well, sorry, I got this up. I can't see the thing. Well, 600 horsepower at 7,500 RPM. Redline at 8,500. Torque is 600 Newton meters, whatever that is, in eagles per foot.
No idea.
Yeah, from 2,000 RPM to 7,000 RPM. And the engine only weighs 70 kilos. That's about 140 pounds. What I think is really interesting is twin turboing inline 3 is like pretty much pointless, actually, because you'd have just like the exhaust pulses wouldn't work out very well because 3 doesn't go into 2 very well. But what they did is every cylinder's got 2 exhaust valves. So one exhaust valve goes to one turbo, the other exhaust valve goes to the other turbo. So essentially, it's kind of making it work like an inline 6, but in an inline 3, because 6 does go into 2 evenly. So we got this little 1,700 horsepower pocket rocket.
Nice.
Jesus.
Yeah, what else does it say here? Range up to, oh my god, the range on the gas engine.
300 horsepower per liter.
That's enough.
Internal combustion engine only range is 950 kilometers, which I don't know what that is. So the electric
That's
range is
about
50 kilometers.
600 miles.
Yeah, which is
Because
good
it's about
horsepower.
2/3. 1 kilometer is about 2/3 of a mile.
Give or take. Oh wait, I think. No, wait. No, wait. Yeah, you're right. That's a rough approximation.
I've only been doing this for 36
There.
years.
Carbon fiber wheels are optional.
That's nice. So in case you want to save some money.
Yeah, but this is also a 4-seater car from a company that, had a car that recently made, a 284-mile-an-hour run through the Nevada desert. 4-seater car. And it even has, like, the anchor points, like in my truck for child seats. Like,
Where I could have sworn we talked about this either my last live stream or I saw it on somebody else's.
I think it was on somebody else's. The wheelbase is, of course, in metric. Fuel capacity 75 liters. Optional roof box. What else is
If you can afford the car, why not splurge for the carbon wheels? Maybe you
Comfort.
really can't afford the car, but you're you ever do that where you you really want something, but you really can't afford it, so you try to cheap it as much as possible, so that way you can maybe possibly think about affording it.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that before. I do that a lot because I'm broke, but there's some things that I want, and I would much rather have the base of it than to not have it at all.
Yeah.
I've done that with video game systems before. Like I did that with parts for my Nova. When I bought the gray Nova,
Mm-hmm.
I literally bought that with money that I didn't have. Not like a loan. Like literally, I was spending my bill money to buy that, all within the hopes of being able to sell enough off of that car to make back the money that I paid for it, so I could pay my bills.
Jeez.
Because I spent money I didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you go to when you go to for the people that are addicted to gambling, when you go gamble your month's rent at the casino, just hoping that you make back what you freaking took with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise you're screwed. It's when you. I mean, the thing is that's also kind of what you have to do as a YouTuber, though, because you look at it like it's just a six and all of them. They spent money they didn't have in hopes that it would pay off.
Mm-hmm.
They basically sold everything they had and, did a little bit of side hustling to get something and hoped that it worked, because if it didn't, they'd be screwed.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you have to do. And it's kind of what I've always had to do. When I bought the TA, it was the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Really was not ready to go buy that. I mean, it's kind of like building this computer. If I could afford the money to build a computer, why didn't I just go with all the bells and whistles? Well, because technically I couldn't afford to build the computer. I pulled it out of my ass.
Yeah.
And hope that there was toilet paper afterwards.
Spoiler alert, there isn't anymore.
Right.
Well, gentlemen, I got to run for tonight. It's been real. It's been fun, and we'll catch you probably in a couple of weeks.
You
hit it up
having your
another one
live
before I
stream
head.
all, or
This coming week will be the last live streams for me for probably about a month and a half till I get settled. So, but thanks for having me on, and we'll I might do one more of these before I head south, but if not, we'll see you around.
All right, see you. You can always join me from your phone though too.
No, that's true. Yep.
So,
all right, take care, guys.
Keep in touch.
See you.
Well, hopefully he has a better time of moving than I did.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm still freaking sore. We basically moved this whole house in a week with just me and Jess.
God damn.
Because now we did have help on a couple days, but sometimes the help was not as much of a help as they thought they were being. You know what I mean? You ever get those
Mhm.
people that somebody come to say they're going to come over and help, and then they end up doing more standing around and watching you do what you're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. See you later, Pete. Oh, but yeah. Oh, well, I was hoping to get to your truck before everybody disappeared, but it seems like I was hoping that actually more people would pop in
Yeah.
because I was hoping to get you at least somewhat of an audience. So let's see. Who all is we at? Oh, we're at the hour mark. Um, hopefully Pete is still in here and actually gets some of this. Nobody told me that we were. Oh, we were. That's 20 minutes ago. Um, points to all viewers. We'll do 100. Hold on. Before I do that, let me see where Pete's at as far as points. That way I know if he got. He's at 9. So yeah,
Mhm.
if he's any higher than 9, then we'll know he got it. All right. Let's see. Yep, Camaro time was still in here, so he got it. Grim. Yeah, Grim's at 485. I don't know if he was at 385 earlier or not. I happened to freaking not check that. Hopefully he got it. That may or may not work. I never freaking know whether or not it's actually working. Oh, yep, it is. Where's Chris at? Do I need to send him a personal invite again?
Rubs.
Hey, man, you guys hang out, man. You guys will get points. I don't know what we're going to use them for, but
Something.
something. Yeah, Chris never even saw it, so. No, yeah, Chris did. Alright. Oh, so you wanna let's put up the not what's in the truck. It's this one.
There you go.
All
All
what
right.
is wrong with the Avalanche this week?
It's an avalanche of a headache for
Hey,
starters.
put your microphone closer.
Oh! All right. So I was just driving along. You know, I'd already come from one friend's house. I stopped here, got changed, went up to the store to grab some firewood because that's what we do in this town.
Right.
And like, I don't know what it is with my truck, but like, there's one intersection. I don't know why, but it seems not every time I pass by it, my truck has issues. But 99% of the time when my truck has issues, it's because I'm driving past there.
Right.
Anyway, I'm just driving along, minding my own business. Everything's fine. I got to check engine light naturally because fucking it's getting warm out and the evap is like, oh, something's wrong here. But it actually lets me like fill up my tank easily when it's warm out, not when it's cold. I can only pump like $5 of gas at a time when it's cold.
What? That makes no sense. Is your freaking is the
It's throwing codes for evap. What is it? Evaporative system emission. Evaporative emission system leak, and then it's got to throw like large in parentheses because apparently it's a large pressure leak. Or but whenever it is throwing that code, just it could fill right the fuck up, and it won't shut off the pump. But when it's cold out, it doesn't leak. It holds pressure, and I'm guessing that pressure is keeping the fuel from like going in, so it'll just fill up in the filler neck, and then the pump's like, wait, it's full, we gotta shut it off, so the handle trips, and then it's
well,
gotta.
yeah, that sounds like your line running from your tank to the charcoal filter might be clogged.
I don't know. I did throw a code one time for what was it?
Because there should be a line in your tank that lets air out of the tank.
Yeah.
And it's just a vent tube. It should vent into the charcoal system, which is your evap system.
Well, yeah. Hang on. See if the code is still in my thing for Google. Come on. It was P0128. No, that's from my friend's car. God damn it. P0420. What is it? Nope, that's not it. I'm never going to find it like this. Anyway, back to the issue at hand. I was just driving along, minding my own business. Everything was fine. And all of a sudden, I had my dash just lit up like a Christmas tree. My stability control / traction control warning light came on because I guess something was fucked up with that. But the one that immediately caught my attention was my flashing check engine light. So I'm thinking like, oh no, something's really wrong. I look at the oil pressure. Oil pressure's fine, but the truck is shaking a little bit, just like
Right.
I was. And I pull over to the side of the road, and it's idling. It's shaking like a lot more, and I'm like, oh no, something's really fucked up with it this time. And I shut it off, and I get my code reader out, and I plug it the fuck in, and I read the computer, and all it's saying is cylinder number 7 misfire, and I'm like, this is gonna be bad, isn't it?
Isn't cylinder number 7 the one freaking cylinder you couldn't change the spark plug in?
No, we could get to number 7. We couldn't get to 6 or 8 because there is like next to no fucking room because there's a hard well, of course it's a hard line, but it's for the AC compressor. Or not the AC compressor, but it's like AC line. So it has like zero move to it, and it's almost impossible to get a wrench in there or a socket in there to get to those ones.
What do you gotta get from
But
underneath? We told you that
maybe
before.
from underneath, but
Huh?
maybe from underneath, but
You can
I
get
don't
them from
know.
underneath.
Yeah, but that requires having rams, which I don't have. Anyway,
Grim is saying the evap vent valve and filter.
well, there was some part under my truck. It was like a $30 part. Let me see if I can find it on here. Let me see. If my C key wasn't sticking, that'd be great. Vent valve solenoid. Yeah, I think that was it. That was the part that kept coming up.
That's the first thing that comes up always. Is the evap solenoid.
Yeah, I think that's what it is because that's what it was throwing the code for once, I believe.
But
Anyway,
anything in the evap system will throw that code for that. It's not always that. Sometimes it's literally just the down there at the canisters, which should be underneath the. Where are they on that? They should be all the way back by the rear axle, I think, on that truck, aren't they?
I think it's not under, but on top of the spare tire. Well, not on the spare tire, but the spare tire is in the way of me being able to get to
but
it.
yeah, that's what I thought, like back there somewhere.
Yeah, but if you Google P0449, which I think is what the code was, it says these repairs can fix the code P0449. Placing the gas cap, I did that. Fixing and replacing the evap hoses, I have not tried that because I haven't gotten around to it yet. Fixing and replacing the fuel tank, and I am not replacing the fucking fuel tank in that thing, and there's nothing wrong with it. Charcoal canister and vent valve. Charcoal canister, I don't know about vent valve, considering that's what the code is. Well, that's what it specifically mentioned in the code. That's what I'm thinking. Repairing
Well,
faulty
that's what Grim says. Check the. You go with the easiest, simplest stuff to change first.
gas cap.
Yeah, gas cap. Checking your vacuum lines. There's different ways you can do that. You can take you can take off both ends of the line. You can plug one end and use a vacuum gauge on the other end to see if you can hold a vacuum. There's if it's I know that if it's up near the engine, you can spray.
The main source of my angst here.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so like I said, the whole truck was shaking at idle, and I plug in the code reader, and it says it's just a cylinder number 7 misfire. And I decide at that point, instead of going to my friend's house, Well, my friend actually came down first, and I thought maybe there was some water in my gas or something like that. So
Right.
we went to their place. I grabbed gas for their lawnmower. It's only like 2 gallons. It was like tiny. Grabbed that, threw it in there after I figured out how to work the goddamn thing because no two of those gas tanks are the fucking same. And started up, and it was still doing it, rocking really badly. And I did notice that as it was rocking, sometimes the stability control, traction control light, whatever the fuck it is you want to call it, would go away and it would come back and go away and come back, even as I was driving it back.
I told you what I thought that was in the chat.
What the
Stability management. The you know. I think that maybe just the shaking of the truck was throwing that off.
Yeah, probably, but it's at the beginning of this winter it was actually coming up every now and then. It'd just be like service stability traction control, blah blah blah, and I was like, got a wheel bearing going bad or something. But then it went away and it never came back for a while. Now, maybe it's because I had a pothole. I don't remember. I mean, there was a pretty egregious one out front of my place of work. It's like so
Walmart for
horrible.
you.
I swear, like, if you get a small enough car, you're gonna get beached in that thing for real. It's horrible.
Yeah, we have one of those at my Walmart too.
Anyway, since
Then
the truck had
again,
been,
all
yeah.
of Schuylkill County is one giant pothole.
Oh, my friend broke a sway bar end link on his van, hitting a pothole in his place of work, and then he broke a rear strut mount for the car he's got. Well, not the car he has now, but the car he had for a while. Now has an AC compressor that is seized like rock fucking solid and keeps shredding belts.
You just get a belt that bypasses the AC compressor.
I don't think there is a belt that bypasses the AC
You can.
compressor.
You just got to find out how long of a belt you need, and then just order the belt by size, not by application.
Yeah, I guess.
You just
Anyway.
literally you just bypass it, because I did that with my truck, my green truck.
Yeah. So what ended up happening, the sequence of events was put the gas in, see that there's no change, give my friend their gas tank or their gas can back, and just pull a UE and just drive back. Check engine light, flashman the whole way. And anytime it dipped below like 500, well, not 500 RPM, but like 1,000 or 1,500 RPM, the shaking would get a lot worse naturally.
Yeah, because you don't have momentum on your side then.
Yeah, and
And
today
you only have one cylinder down?
that's all it says.
Because normally it's shaking that bad, it has more than one.
No, it's the one coming up cylinder number 7, misfire. Anyway, I figured, all right, I could drive this to work tomorrow, and then by the time I get out, it'll be cool enough to, take the plugs out of the head and the plug out and see. I was thinking maybe it was like all of a sudden, there was literally no in between, perfectly fine, running rougher than, I don't know, something. And so I just couldn't figure out what the fuck it was. I figured maybe the electrode snapped off the spark plug for whatever fucking reason. Well, that wasn't the case. What was the case was...
You actually figured out the issue?
No, I have not. What was the case, the inherent case, was that the spark plug was loose, like really loose, like didn't even need a socket. Well, had an extension on a socket so I could reach the goddamn thing and just backed it out with my hand on the extension.
Now, when you tightened it back in, did the code go away?
No,
Oh.
I actually ended up taking it out to examine the spark. Yeah, the engine's just so far back in the engine bay, like,
which is weird for a truck.
Yeah, it really is. But and I had pulled into a parking space like on the end of it, so there was like that curb, and I was actually standing on higher ground than the truck was parked on. That kind of helped in my favor, and I still couldn't really fucking reach the goddamn thing.
Well, that's what you get for having a truck.
Yeah, I guess.
You could try getting in the engine bay of my Ram.
No. Anyway.
Dude,
no,
the top.
No, God damn it! Let me finish while I have this right here.
Go ahead.
Right. I ended up dropping the spark plug as soon as it came out of the head, and it fell down. Unfortunately, it hit the ground, and I got an empty cardboard tube I have for a roll of shop towels, and I just like scraped it toward me, and I looked at it, and I noticed that there was like some grease, soot, some black shit on the threads that I'm assuming was from blow by getting past it. And I was like, huh. So I bought a can of brake parts cleaner because I figured I was gonna have to clean something, and I sprayed out around that area before I took the plug out, make sure there was nothing like dirt, grease, or anything that was gonna fall in somehow. And then I just started like blasting that shit off of there with the brake parts cleaner. And then I just took my wire brush to it, made sure it was all. It was kind of clean. It was
All
a
right.
lot cleaner than it was when I tried to put it back in. And then one of my the maintenance guy ended up literally. Well, my spark plug socket doesn't have the rubber grommet in there,
Mm.
so it would fall right the fuck out, of course. And sure enough, he
Those
just
are sometimes
great.
handy and sometimes not handy.
Yeah, it literally just drops straight and just falls onto some member of the frame, and I'm like, "You're fucking joking, Randy." So I fucked around with that, and I guess when it landed straight on the electrode, so the gap wasn't set anymore. But I had 2 spark plugs that I couldn't put in before, so I grabbed one of those motherfuckers, and a former coworker of mine was right there, and I just shout, I'm like, "Ow!" And he looked, and I'm like, "Come here, help me!" So he did, and we managed to get it back in, and he got it tightened up rather sufficiently, more than I could have. And we got it tightened up, put the plug back on, and it started up, and it's running pretty smooth.
If you take a piece of hose, right?
Yeah.
And you cut just a little tiny section off and stuff it inside your socket. That's exactly what that thing is that is in those special spark plug sockets.
Anyway, he gets it back in there, start it up, and it's idling fairly smooth. I don't think it was quite as smooth as it used to, but it was a lot smoother than it was at that particular point in time. So I'm like, all right, problem solved. We were standing in a parking lot where it was like maybe 40 degrees, not including the wind chill. So we both went on our merry way, and I put it in reverse. And of course, when you put it in reverse, it puts some load on the engine, so the RPM drops a little bit. And then here comes the fucking jitters again. Just, yeah, kind of like that, actually. I'm like, fucking A. So then I put it back into drive, found the next nearest parking spot, shut the truck off, pop the hood, go in there and look. And I'm wiggling shit, making sure like the wires on the plug, make sure the wires plugged into the coil right and everything. And I ended up burning my knuckle a little bit on the header because it's right fucking there, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Welcome to
fine.
working on cars.
Yeah, for real. And I figured, well, it's already been running. I can't take the plug out because it's got aluminum heads, and if it's hot, it's going to strip it if I try to put it back in. So I just drove it back home, and it's sitting in the fucking driveway. And I might get around to taking it up to the dealership tomorrow to look at a new vehicle they have in stock that I was alerted to. I'm telling them
Said
that
another
here.
avalanche.
Actually, yeah, 2012, 122,000 miles, better than 180 on
Take
that
your
thing.
POS back. I want this POS.
This slightly less shitty POS. But that's where it stands now. I was gonna try to swap the coil packs around, but it took me like 2 hours to get that spark plug back in, or to find someone who could get that spark plug back in.
Yeah, you don't need to take spark plug out to switch coil packs though.
No, not to switch the coil packs, but by that time I already couldn't feel my hands. I was already pissed because it came back, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just drive it over there." And I
Sometimes
figured
you're lucky. You don't even have to take the coil pack off the mounts. If your wires are loose enough, you can just swap the wires.
they're not.
Yeah. Sometimes you can literally just pop the connector off of the number 7.
I might have enough to
Swap 5 and 7.
yeah, on the plug side, but not on the harness side.
Oh. Like I said, sometimes you get lucky and you can do that, and then you don't actually have to take it off the mount. All you have to do is just swap the plugs.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
then,
another theory I had was that all the shit that was in the threads of the spark plug is also in the threads of the head, and it might be keeping it from grounding outright.
no, you shouldn't. Again, it's aluminum.
All right. I don't know. Only other thought I have is it's the coil, but would it go like that bad, just like that, all of a sudden?
Yeah. That's the way electronics go. Electronics just decide to say, you know what, today I'm going to work fine, tomorrow I'm not. That's the way, like when I have my Cavalier. Now, the sucky thing about my Cavalier is you can't just replace a coil pack. You have to replace, they come in sets of 2.
Oh, one coil works on 2 cylinders?
Yep.
Mm.
Mounts on one big long piece that goes in the valley of the head because it's a dual cam.
Yeah.
And the spark plugs are right in the center. And two coil packs mount on that bracket, and it feeds 2 spark plugs each.
Mhm.
So, and those coil packs were fucking ridiculously expensive. I cheated. I went to the junkyard.
Yeah, there you go.
I
was
paid
gonna
like
do
10. I figured worst case scenario is it doesn't work and I wasted $10 more. Best case scenario is I just saved myself like 140.
Yeah.
So yeah, I figured that was worth going to the junkyard and seeing if I could get, because I'm not spending. It wasn't going to spend $100 and some on a ship box.
Yeah.
So I mean, not if I didn't have to. And it's a Cavalier. Most likely, it was going to die before I would have needed to replace the junkyard coil pack. And I could also have gone down and bought another freaking coil pack from the junkyard and still not spend anywhere near the amount of money for buying a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's worth buying used parts. Sometimes it's not. There's some things that I just don't recommend it because if it fucks up a lot of shit. Like brake parts. I don't buy brake parts at the junkyard.
Yeah, for real.
If they fuck up, that's no brakes.
Yeah.
Swaptronics is cheaper than the parts cannon. I doesn't know that. Oh, learn something new every day. I don't know what either of those are.
Me either.
Oh, but anyway.
Anywho.
So yeah, I would swap. I mean, if you're going to just trade it in, fuck it. They already know the truck has issues.
Yeah, they fucking do. I got like fucking the packet of fucking invoices in there for shit.
Yeah, and the thing is, you've taken it there almost every single time, right?
Just for everything except for the fuel pump, because they were going to charge $1,000 to replace the goddamn fuel pump on that thing, and I told them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, because you could just
indirectly.
You ended up doing it yourself, didn't you?
Hell no! I took it to a shop I used to work on the table at.
Oh, okay. The one that almost had that was trying to restore the truck up on the lift.
They weren't restoring the truck on the lift. What ended up happening was they put the dump truck up on the lift, and there was like some gravel and dirt in the back, and it had been raining, and I'm like, But, I was like, what, 21, 22 at the time, so I figured my opinion wouldn't really mattered. But they put it up on the lift anyway, and they were like, the one guy up there, he was like shaking everything around, tie rod ends, ball joints, making sure everything was fine. And
did it fall?
It did. He tugged on the fucking. All right, so hang on. I gotta have a little vehicle I can use here as a mock-up. If I don't, I'll be surprised.
I have a whole box of them over here.
Well, that doesn't help me too much. I gotta have something.
I'm gonna take my mic out and see if this still works. Hopefully, you guys don't get a repeatedly echo.
Echo, echo, echo. Wait. Oh, this is getting not safe for work here.
Do I get an echo?
Hello. No.
Hopefully not. I might just not have to use the freaking headphone. I just do it because it keeps everything quiet. But if I want to roll, well, not roll so well because I'm on carpet.
I roll too well because I'm standing on a fucking swivel chair on a goddamn laminate floor.
Cat's just looking at you like, haha, you freaking idiot.
Oh, should be looking at me like, no!
I got all kinds of cool things, like this one.
God damn it, the cat just jumped on my chair, didn't she?
Yep, right on the back of your chair.
God damn it, cat.
This is actually the body for my freaking Jado RC car. 69 Camaro body.
Oh, nice.
I don't know where the car is. I think the car is downstairs.
Oh my gosh! Alright, so I'm gonna... Get your fucking ass off my head, goddammit.
What other freaking cool shit do I have in here?
I'm gonna wait for him to get back before I explain this.
Huh?
I said I'm waiting for you to get back before I explain.
I'm actually not.
I have an echo now? Are you sure it's not me echoing through his microphone?
It's probably him through. That's why I normally have my mic in. I'll put it back in.
All right, so here I have
Hold on. Let me stop the echo. go in the hole.
That's what she said.
There we go. Okay. That's why I put my headphones in so you guys don't get an echo.
All right. So.
Oh, I just yanked it that way.
Oh my Christ!
Can't hear you. Okay.
You good now? You gonna yank it out again?
Probably. I hate
All right,
freaking
good.
headphones.
So let's say this is the dump truck.
Woo! Hi, dump truck.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna make you big.
Now the body is actually good for context.
You're big. And fuzzy.
That's what your mom said. Oh.
You're big and fuzzy?
All right, so let's say this is the dump truck, and of course it's on post lift, which will be represented by me dropping the goddamn thing. All right, so this is pretty much the dump truck, and wait, hang on, let me turn this around so I can use my left hand. All right, so front of the truck, naturally, back of the truck where there's a lot of weight, and post lift, my hand. So, and my two bosses are standing right about here, and one of them's under it, and he's like tugging on the tie rods, making sure that nothing's shaking, and I just see the whole thing just go like this. And the dump truck fucking slams onto the fucking concrete ground, fucking sparks everywhere, fucking tearing shit off the fucking ceiling. There's fucking conduit arcing, smoke fucking everywhere. And God. I am just looking at my two fucking bosses. Well, my bosses, and one of them is just like
that. That's you go say, I told you.
Yeah, that like I just watched these two guys just lose $10,000 right then and there in that exact second. It pulled the bolts up out of the fucking concrete floor
for the lift.
Just ripped them right the fuck out and slammed that fucking Ford F whatever the fuck it is 50 into the fucking ground.
450.
It was actually kind of funny because the hitch on it, the grease hitch I think they call them, is actually bent down a little bit, and when it slammed off the ground, it bent it back up, so it's kind of where it was supposed to be. So anyway, now oh shit.
Nice legs.
Damn legs though. Oh shit. Come on. If this chair could like not roll for 2 seconds.
You're gonna reenact the freaking dump truck all on your own.
Nonsense. I got a great sense of balance. That's good enough. Is that a Journey CD? That is. Dude, I shit you not. This is just sitting in there.
See, and the thing is people end up leaving and they miss all this good shit.
Yeah, they miss all the hilarity that ensues.
Yeah, because this show, I told you, this show gets better the second hour. Oh. But the problem is I need people here the first hour to make it to the second hour. Otherwise, I get freaking. Otherwise, I end up getting dejected and close the show early because I don't know what else to talk about because there's nowhere to have a conversation.
Yeah,
I know there's lots of people out there that have live shows where it's just them and they can somehow miraculously entertain somebody but then again, I don't think they do the lives as long as I do. They only have to talk to somebody for like a half hour?
Yeah.
I can talk somebody's ear off for a half hour. Try talking somebody's ear off for 2-3 hours by yourself. No, because I like being on here for a good while because you get something for the second hour. You know what I mean? Like you used to pop in for the second hour. I had a whole group of different group of people that would pop in and chat at different times. And I kind of enjoyed that. It was like, I didn't want to just do a half hour because I figured I'd miss people. Your cat is so distracting behind you. She is so playful. No, leave her alone. She's fine. She's just bouncing around on your bed like fucking Tigger.
Yeah, she do.
But I like hanging out here for a while. It it's just something that I enjoy, and I did miss it last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guarantee you, my back does not miss moving.
Well, perhaps not.
But yeah, I don't know. Where are we at now? We're coming up on 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think these live streams have been hitting around 2 hours now because, because they're not as populated as they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And me disappearing for 2 weeks on end doesn't help much. Oh wow, they made it fuzzy. Hello, come back.
Your camera's like, yeah, your camera's going in and out like fucking
I don't understand why.
references I should make.
There. Come on. Are you gonna focus?
There.
There we go. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I like doing these live streams. It's the reason why I come in here, and I like the fact that I see the same faces every week. We just need to get more people in here. So, Grim, I know you're in here every week. If you know somebody else that would enjoy this show, tell them about it, share it, and hopefully we can get some other people to do that. And like I said, we're here. Unless there's I just got done moving. That's the only reason I wasn't here, and the other time I wasn't here is because my hardware was not capable of doing it. Almost every other time, how many times have I actually just narked off for my own reasons? Not really, not that I know of. I think I took one weekend because I think it was Father's Day weekend or whatever I took off. But other than that, I think I've pretty much been here every weekend for the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. And yeah, you're right. It's not only cheaper than going to the bar, it's safer. I don't have to drink and drive. I can stay at home, have my beer with you guys. And yeah, it's cheaper for me to have a beer at home than it is to have a beer at the bar. But yeah, I'm nowhere near drunk. Still can't fucking talk for shit though.
Yeah, for real. You are not fucking kidding.
I can't talk when I'm freaking sober, period. I actually talk better when I'm drunk. What's up?
So I was just looking, see how much an ignition coil is going to be for my truck if I go through the local parts store, which I don't even know if they have it in stock. Cheapest one is... Give me a second.
I'm gonna say at least $65.
I know I can sort by price. Sort by price. Low to high. That's a relay, not an ignition coil. That's a fuel injection rail bolt, multi-purpose relay.
Just look
I'm
up
just,
coil pack, not
now
ignition coil. And apparently, I am
searched
lost
ignition
in
coil.
the. Huh?
I searched ignition coil.
Look up coil pack.
Oh, wait,
Hey,
here we go.
camera. I'm. Why are you having trouble focusing on me today?
All right, the cheapest ignition coil. No, it's not that one. This one. All right, $54.99.
No, a little less than what I was expecting.
Yeah, but god damn it, not at the moment.
Apparently, I'm just gonna be fuzzy today. Hey, woohoo! There we go.
I think it's because you got a blank wall behind you, so it doesn't really have a reference point.
I'm sorry, I can't do anything about that just right now. I have not had the ability to hang anything yet.
Let's see what Rock Auto has to say. Enchan?
Grim says that when I'm out in public, people just ask me questions all the time when I'm trying to relax. Well, I mean, Grim, it isn't much different. We're in here talking automotive questions. Then again, we're not actually asking you specifically. You're just available to give your input, which I'm sure Big E is very grateful for.
Yeah.
You heard the part about the what was he saying?
Something.
The ABS sensor.
Yeah.
Gets rusted under it and pushes the sensor back far enough, causes problems with the sensor. Clean it off, clean off the rust, and reinstall.
Mm-hmm.
Though I think you were talking about the stability, not the ABS.
Yeah.
I'm out of beer.
That sounds like a problem.
Yeah, and my fridge isn't like right in the next room like it was in the other house. I'm upstairs on the second floor. I have to go all the way down the stairs and through the living room into the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, I don't want to be away from the camera that long. I could always ask Alexa to ask Jess to get me a beer, but I think that would be kind of rude. I think Jess is actually kind of happy because she doesn't have to. She could do whatever she wants now because I'm in my own little room.
Mm-hmm.
Though it is half her room. Let's see. We'll go for a ride here real quick.
Oh, geez.
All right, so this is my view at the moment. Told you,
Mm-hmm.
little table, PJs.
Mm-hmm.
I have upgraded my audio system to an actual stereo,
Cool.
so I actually get This actually sounds pretty fucking rad listening to the aisle through it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, the rest of the room is a mess
Yeah,
because it's not done.
that it is.
There's the cabinet over there that I did.
Mm-hmm.
That's the black cabinet that I did. I'm probably going to be doing that table that all that stuff is on next to match it. Because that's Jess's stuff. And then this is all of my stuff that I need to organize. This is all computer and desk stuff, and there's box cars right there. And my trippy rainbow computer. Let's put you guys back up here before you guys all get seasick. There we go. Let's see. We can get rid of that.
Bye-bye.
Oh, okay. He's saying the stability system uses the ABS sensors. Yeah, I'm not necessarily the most up to date on newer vehicles. Oh, I've been working on my own shit, but I haven't been to school for car shit since the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So before your truck came out.
Yeah.
So yeah. Right? But no, this is just like this room has not been the priority for unpacking. Like the main rooms have, like the bathroom, the kitchen, the
ones that are
the living
more
room.
essential.
Yeah, like we did not have a couch until Friday.
Jeez.
Because the couch that I had in my old house, we looked at it and we're like, there is no point in dragging that thing out of the house into a truck, taking it to the new house and getting it in the new house. Because it was, number one, it was free. I bought it broke. I mean, I picked it up broke. I fixed it. It got broken again, and I never bothered fixing it.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks nice, but it's busted. So we're like, screw this. Jess is like, I want a new couch. So we went out to a couple furniture places, and she fell in love with this huge, and I mean huge, chair. They call it a chair and a half.
Yeah.
It's basically the size of a love seat with only one cushion.
Ow.
So it doesn't have that center, that void that you fall into with a two cushion couch.
Yeah.
So you can sit on it the wrong way and still be comfy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is exactly how Jess sits on the couch, which is exactly how my old couch broke, because she sits on it sideways. She sticks her feet in that little groove and pushes back, and it broke the arm.
Ow.
Because that has my old couch had the floating arms. They don't actually touch the floor.
Yeah.
Because it's a recliner. And yeah, they're weak as shit. Especially when they're only made out of like the press board. You take a full grown woman, press it against press board, yeah, it's gonna snap.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, he didn't hear why I moved. I moved actually 2.5 years ago to Auburn. Not to Auburn. We moved from Auburn to Tamaqua. And we just moved from just now, what was it, beginning of the month? So 2 weeks ago. We moved from Tamaqua to Coaldale, which is literally only 5 minutes up the road. And we moved because we moved from an apartment to an actual house. So we have a house. We don't share walls with anybody. We have our own yard. I can park in front of my house and not really have to worry about somebody else parking in front of it, because nobody actually parks on my street. The problem is there's no driveway. There's nowhere to work on cars. I'm not allowed to work on cars here because we are still renting, but it is a house.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna still have the garage that I'll be working out of, that I have been working out of.
Shit.
Who was the one that asked about the Nova? Was somebody that's still in here?
Is who still in here?
Was that Classic Ride Society? It's pretty bad though that I can scroll all the way back to the beginning of this conversation.
Yeah.
It used to be the point to where I would actually delete the first part of the conversation before I got there. What was that? Literally just looking for. We're at Nova. Oh, yeah, it was Classic Ride Society. But yeah, we moved because this is a better situation. This is a 4-bedroom house instead of the 3-bedroom that we were in. And like I said, I now have this whole space. Well, I have half this space. Jess has the other half. But I have a whole space that I can set up to instead of taking over part of the dining room, which is what I was doing before.
Mm-hmm.
That is part of the reason we don't. We may only be here a year. Jess is looking at buying a house next year, but we also knew we didn't want to live in that apartment anymore. And Jess found this place, and she's like, "You know what? We're moving." Like literally, we had no time to think about that. It came up. We had no plans on moving or going anywhere until she was going to buy the house. She saw the place and says, "No, we're moving." And that's what we did. We picked up and we left.
Mm-hmm.
The leak in the back bedroom definitely did not deter our decision any.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, geez, that was like less than a week after we decided we were going to move, and we told the landlord that we were leaving. We gave him his month notice. It was like a week later that freaking leak happened.
Yeah.
And then it was still leaking when we left.
Jeez.
Like 10:30 at night. Finished, put the key in the door, took the last of our shit and left. He had somebody moving in on Tuesday.
Oh, damn.
I don't get it. Like, I don't know if they just didn't give a shit about the fact that wall still had to have been soggy. I doubt they cut it out, replaced it, and patched it and put it back, and everything by then. That house is going to be a mold fest.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for the people that moved in there because they have a little girl. I saw them move in. They have a little girl. That is going to be a horrible situation. Give it a couple months.
Yeah.
I lived in a situation where the landlord did not properly fix the moisture issue, and my whole apartment bloomed in mold.
Oh my
I
God.
lost couches, everything. All my furniture just multicolored, man. It was just painted in all colors. Orange, black, green.
Gross.
Gross. Nothing like looking at your kids' toys and seeing the fuzzies on them. And
Oh
we
my
were only we only left for like a week and came back, and that's how the house looked.
Jesus.
And the reason we left is because my ex at the time, well, she wasn't the ex at the time, but she was my girlfriend at the time, started getting sick. Like sick. And so we left the house for a little bit to well, what happened was, I think it was either a bathroom or a washing machine on the floor above us
Yeah.
broke and flooded our apartment, flooded our living room. And we cleaned up all the mess. We cleaned up the floor. We cleaned it up. We thought we cleaned it up pretty good. But the problem is the moisture was still in the apartment. It was in the ceiling. And when we left, and then I came back to come check on the apartment, and I saw that the whole apartment, there was like everything, tabletops, everything was covered in fuzzy. It was
Oh my
gross. My whole apartment had turned into a freaking botanical garden.
God. Yeah, pretty much.
And I was like, nope, we're done. I'm out. I mean, they shouldn't even have been able to rent that apartment anyway because it had one door and one window. It was a basement apartment. There was no way out but the main staircase out of the basement. If there was a fire anywhere in that, we would have all been dead.
Wow.
Because there was no other exit.
That's...
You have to have at least 2 exits.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, there was one window, and it was taller than my head. Like I had to reach up here like this to get to the window because it was at ground level.
Mm-hmm.
And that was right at the bottom of the staircase to the door to get out. That was the only window and the only door in the apartment. Well, there was a 1-bedroom apartment, so there was a back room, had no windows in it. No way to escape that room. And then the main room had the kitchen and a big open space that you can use for whatever. So I had like a kitchenette and then a big open space, and then the bathroom had its own room.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That was all that was in that apartment.
Jeez.
So yeah, that was a really sucky situation. But that was I didn't have any choice, and I needed to move, and that's why I picked that spot because it was affordable. Yeah, it didn't end up being affordable.
Speaking of shitty apartment situations, one of my coworkers, he moved here about 10 or so months ago, and I've been working with him since about August-ish.
Yeah.
And we get along great and everything. And apparently, his landlord said that he's getting some heating work done on the heating system, and he lied about the deadline. And he's been like sending threatening letters to him, like if the due rent is not paid immediately, the eviction process will begin immediately.
Wait,
or
I'm confused.
Days. What?
The landlord is the tenant not staying in the apartment right now, or
no? The tenant is staying in the apartment. The issue is that the heat was never hooked up in time, and so my coworker stopped paying the rent because.
Now you know what you're supposed to do in that situation, right?
No.
You're supposed to get an escrow account, and you put the rent money in the escrow account. You don't pay the landlord. You put the money in the escrow account. Okay? So the money's there. The landlord knows the money's there, and he doesn't get the money until the freaking issue is fixed. There's a whole process. You can look it up on Google. There's a whole process you're supposed to do if your house is not fit to live in, so that way you don't void your lease.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, the landlord was getting sick and not seeing rent, so he wrote the threatening letter, and apparently, like, he'll literally just sit in the one of the local gas stations that sells lottery tickets, and he'll just like splurge on lottery tickets or any form of lottery he can, like scratch offs, quick pick, take 5, Powerball, whole 9 yards.
The landlord or the tenant?
The landlord.
Okay.
So he'll just sit there, and sometimes he hits a big, sometimes he doesn't win at all. And again, there's these threatening letters. If you don't pay, blah, 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 15 days, eviction, the whole 9 yards. And now he's literally just like not paying rent. and the landlord doesn't have the money to pay the mortgage, so the property was foreclosed on by the bank. And now my coworker has got till the end of his lease in June plus 90 days. So he's pretty much got a free apartment now.
Nice.
So he kind of wins in the end.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, not having heat for all of winter, I guess, is
Small price to pay.
yeah.
But yeah, he should have went. He should have went and put the money in escrow. And at some point, you can literally, he can, because that's breach of contract on the landlord's part. If he put his money in escrow, right, like the way you're supposed to, and the landlord's contract is to make sure that the house is maintained. If he doesn't uphold his end of the lease, then the landlord is the one that breached the contract. So that would mean that the deposit, and say, I don't know if they do last month's rent there, the landlord would have to give to you. Because he's the one that breached the contract. So if you would not be held to that contract. You could be able to move somewhere else without having to worry about, fulfilling your end of the lease. Yeah, he's right. See, Grim says I'm right. You gotta make sure you do shit the right way. I mean, yes, your buddy is right. You shouldn't be paying rent for a property that is not, you don't have, hot water. If you don't have water, you don't have heat. You don't have the basic necessities that are included, especially if it's labeled in the lease that the landlord pays such and such or whatever.
Yeah.
If you don't have, you have a right to not pay your rent if the landlord is not upholding his end of the lease. Which most leases have maintained property. But you can't just not pay it. You still have to put it in an escrow. There is a process you have to follow, to make sure it's done legally because you are in a contract. So yeah, there is a thing you have to do, and there's a process you have to follow. And I suggest if you are renting somewhere that you do look at what that process is, just so you know what your rights and what your rights are, because you have rights as a renter as well. It's not all the land that lease that you sign is supposed to, if you read it carefully, protect both you and the landlord.
Well, I didn't sign a lease, so
you're not on the lease.
I am not.
Ooh. But anyway, yeah, you still pay rent though.
Yeah, I contribute to the rent.
Yeah, so you're still technically paying rent.
Yeah.
Technically you should be on the lease, but it is what it is. Because in our lease it says that we aren't allowed to. In our lease, any adult has to be on the lease. If we're not on the lease, we're not allowed to have. Would it be like subleasing? Is what they call it. When you're not on the lease, but you're still contributing towards the rent.
Yeah.
It's basically like subleasing. You're not allowed to do that without being on the lease. At least with our lease contract. We can't have somebody come in here and rent one of the rooms out to help us with the rent.
Yeah.
Without contacting the property manager and saying, hey, we have another adult that moved in, You have to go through the channels.
Yeah.
He said that his shop got foreclosed on by the previous owner, and I had to pay the rent to the bank. Yeah, that's basically how that works.
Yeah.
Now, did you eventually end up buying that shop, or did you end up moving to a different one? Because at that point, it's a foreclosed on property. The bank probably only wants whatever is left on the mortgage. Which means you could get a pretty, depending on how far into that mortgage that previous owner already was, you could get a pretty decent place pretty cheap.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's how that works.
That's what I was telling my coworker. I'm like, maybe you should just pick up on the mortgage where he left off, or
It depends on if the house is worth it.
Maybe I should.
Depends on if the house is worth it.
I mean, he's been living there. He has no complaints besides the shitty property owner.
Oh my god!
If I was extra dramatic and didn't have neighbors, I'd just like throw myself back out of the chair.
I don't have neighbors. That's part of why we moved here. Oh no, I won't.
Well, I got downstairs neighbors.
I don't have anybody. We got Jess, my kid, who's like right below me. I think. No.
You think?
Front door is there. No. My kid is on the other side of the house.
No.
Underneath of our bedroom.
Cool story.
He says he'll be up in 15 minutes. Jeez.
About fucking time.
For the last half hour of the show.
Yeah, for real.
But we can still do what's in the truck, man. And I was hoping he would get on because I wanted to hear his side of all of this coronavirus bullshit and the shipping end of that. Because I mean, geez, if they wiped out all the stores down here of all that stuff, which should mean that that's a lot of shipping. The stores have to restock all of that shit.
Yeah. Dude, fucking people have been coming up from like fucking New York City to my fucking area and buying all of our shit. When I left work, we had like, I don't know, 10, 12 crates of milk.
Yeah. Jess went to Walmart on the way home. Again, not to buy, Apocalypse Now shit.
Yeah.
She just went to go buy our normal stuff. We needed some chicken, we needed some meat and some veggies and shit. Just our normal grocery bullshit, and no milk, no eggs,
Yeah,
no toilet paper, no paper towels, no baby wipes. Freezer aisle was pretty bare. And the thing is I don't get is, okay, you're preparing for an apocalypse. You're preparing for a whatever. Why are you buying perishable items? Because that shit's not gonna. And the thing is why are you buying them in bulk? Are you gonna use more milk than you normally would before milk spoils? Just because you're because there's a sick. No. So why? I don't. It's just like when people buy milk and eggs and shit, milk, eggs, and bread when there's a snowstorm.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a snowstorm and it knocks your power out, that shit's gonna go bad.
Well, not the bread, but yeah.
No, not the bread, but yeah. It's just like, why? Why are you buying that crap? You want to buy the stuff that you don't need to heat, you don't need to keep cold. That's the stuff you want to buy because that's the stuff you're going to be able to stuff you can, stuff that you can cook with or prepare with minimal requirements. That doesn't make any sense.
Few things do anymore.
Grim says, yeah, that's what's in the truck, toilet paper. Maybe Chris can hook us up.
Yeah.
He says he did buy that shop. Didn't get a real good deal, but not bad.
Sometimes not bad is all you need.
Yep. Sometimes not bad is better than being raked through the coals. Somebody needs to knock Mission Mechanic off of my stupid freaking super chat. He's been there. Oh, no, he has been in here. He's been in here for 2.5 hours. Yeah, apparently he's the third highest people. So he's been here. He just hasn't been here. Well, I haven't been here for two weeks, so.
Yeah.
But I know I haven't seen him for a little bit. Grimm's Auto Service, 3.9, basically 4 hours, which I don't think that's right because Grimm's been in every single episode since the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Which we are on, what, the 9th?
Yeah.
So,
He's throwing falsehoods.
What? Oh my God. Hey, look, and we can see you.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I know. Piece of shit, different truck.
Oh. Well, you gotta drive the piece of shit different truck more often. For anybody who has never seen Chris, you can actually see. Here, do you know what? I'm even going to blow him up. He's the full screen. There is my buddy Chris.
I'll do everybody.
Do it out there working when everybody else is stuck home in fucking quarantine.
Yeah.
Yep. and I already made one trip to the hot spot, good old Seattle. So
That's okay. Philadelphia ain't much better.
no, not now. I mean, I went up there and then turned around, and come back to Philly. So
Philly's another hot spot.
I've got a firm belief way back when I got hurt, and I should be dead. Don't know why I'm not, because I should have been squished, squashed, worse than fly shit through a fly swatter. With what happened when I got hurt years ago, my pelvis got crushed.
Yeah.
Heaven wasn't ready for me, and hell knew damn well I'd come down there and take over. So they put me back here to make every son of a bitch miserable that I can. So far, I've got a pretty good success rate.
Yeah, but not here. You ain't making us miserable. So everybody wants to know, because of all this bullshit going on, what's in the truck?
You just hit the key term. The key term.
Bullshit?
It's nothing but bullshit.
It is.
I mean, you think about it. They're making this out like it's the newest bubonic plague, black plague,
Please,
I mean, whatever you want to call it.
The thing is the coronavirus, the name itself, that is the common cold. It also it's the family name that also includes the flu and common cold. So that's funny thing is it's not technically the coronavirus. It's a specific strain of the coronavirus, which technically SARS is also a coronavirus. It is part of the coronavirus family.
You know why is it every election year since like back to 2000? We've had some major disease that hit the world. It's going to wipe out the population.
Everybody freaks out about for 2 months, and then nobody talks about it like 6 months later.
Yeah, I mean, SARS, MARS, swine flu, bird flu.
I know.
We're going to run around with little pink curly asses and tweet like birds. You know?
Okay, Chris, we have a very highly upset subscriber in the chat room who wants to know where the Peterbilt sign is.
The Peterbilt sign is actually in the other truck.
Yeah, because you're.
And I would not insult the Peterbilt sign because I'm driving a freaking Freightliner. Bombed out, worthless, underpowered Penske rental. They can't get out of its own way on flat ground.
Some bitch.
But I will give it credit for one thing.
We can see
it. It has a refrigerator freezer built in, and the freezer is big enough to hold 2 8-packs of Klondike bars stacked on top of each other.
There you go.
We got ice cream till it run out.
It's better than toilet paper.
Yeah, that's another joke.
Yeah, it probably tastes better too.
Yeah,
so I don't know, Chris. Can you see what's below your picture on your screen?
What's in the truck? All right. What's in the truck? It's our usual. Mixture clam juice, clams, ocean clams, cheeses.
So you're hauling half of the female. You're hauling half of the female population of Reading.
Pretty much.
Goddamn.
The only thing I don't have is the tubs of cottage cheese of their parts that have been ground through the penal grinder.
Huh.
Right.
After a Saturday night working.
We were hoping you were calling toilet paper, man. We would have fucking hijacked your truck and took it.
Nah, I don't get lucky enough to haul that privilege freight anymore. That's all dry van stuff. Well, it's underpaid too. I mean, it doesn't pay as well as the refrigerated frozen divisions.
All right.
But yeah, it's a joke. I mean, when I was in Seattle, you'd have thought you were in a war zone last week.
That's very ridiculous.
I mean, everywhere. I mean, it didn't matter where you went, restaurants, anything. Anybody in public service, running a cash register, bartender, whatever, were rubber gloves and surgical masks. You've seen people running around with surgical masks on. Yeah, I mean, honest to God,
They do realize that doesn't protect them, right?
I delivered some Indian ice cream to some of the Indian stores, which is basically you go into a strip mall, you tailgate the pallet to the back, and then you got to hand everything down box by box because they don't have no docks. In that neighborhood, the one neighborhood I delivered in, I saw people running around that were, surgical masks, rubber gloves, yada, yada, yada. that were basically wrapped in saran wrap.
Mm.
I mean, they wrapped themselves up in plastic, thinking that this is going to save me.
No, I mean, I work in healthcare. I work in the healthcare field. Number one, those stupid masks that people wear
are worthless.
No, because all they do is they keep you from spreading an illness you have to somebody else.
Yeah.
They don't keep you from breathing in and getting that illness. And especially once that mask gets damp, it's absolutely useless.
Yeah. I mean,
you have to swap them out like every hour.
Putting a tissue across your face.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
your best bet is
towel.
literally wash your hands and shit like that. That is your best fucking line of defense. It's just ridiculous.
And if it was so bad, there's no vaccine, there's no cure.
The other thing is, okay, they're running around in rubber gloves. Did they change their gloves every time they touch something? Because if they didn't, they could actually be doing more harm.
Yeah.
Because you could be more easily spreading illness from one spot to another. Because now, you're not thinking you need to wash your hands. So now you're literally transferring whatever it is from one place to another place as you're moving around.
Yeah.
Because, before, okay, I touched something dirty, wash my hands. If you have gloves on, you're going to think, well, I don't need to wash my hands. I have gloves on. So now you're taking any germs you picked up from this area, taking it to somewhere else, touching something, transferring that germs, picking up new germs, taking that to a new place. It's just, my God, do they just turn themselves into giant fucking bees? And instead of pollen, they're transferring fucking, germs.
Germs and bacteria. Which I had to laugh. I was genuinely surprised, seriously, when I was up there, that I didn't see anybody running around one of those big ass rubber balls that you like to use in amusement things or like down ski slopes and yeah, that big rubber plastic ball thing that you can actually climb in and your buddies will push you down the hill like they use at a snow tubing course or something.
Yeah.
I'd have thought I'd have seen at least one wingbat walking around.
Come on, I want that thing to roll out into a fucking. I want that to roll out into an intersection and a car punt it.
Oh my God!
Can you imagine a GTA mod like that?
And the kick is up, and it's good.
Hey, pump me home! Don't call an Uber. You call an Uber to punt you home.
Yeah, there you go.
But Grimm's Auto Service, he says it's funny. They want you to shake hands with elbows, but they also want you to cough and sneeze in your elbow. Now, the coughing and sneezing in your elbow has a sound point. You don't normally touch a bunch of stuff with your elbow. Now, in the healthcare field, I took care of people with mental illness. We didn't shake hands with the consumers because some of them were not necessarily clean this. We always just did a fist bump. Because again, it's not the palm of your hands. You're less likely to touch something with the back of your knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you're also less likely to transfer germs that you use to cough into your elbow with somebody doing a fist bump. We didn't elbow shake with people because again, that if we're teaching them to cough in their elbows, I definitely don't want to tap elbows with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is retarded. Like half the shit that they freaking, people freak out about. I did put a post on my Facebook the other day, and I told Big E in the beginning of the thing about, the number of cases versus the number of deaths compared to things like the flu. And, people don't freak out about the flu, but we're freaking out about this. There was under 200,000 cases worldwide. Most of them being in China. China has a population of 4 billion people. Now, just think about that statistic there, right there. 4 billion people and only less than 200,000 of them caught this illness. Now, granted, even fewer of them died, but there are people that died. Now,
and if it was as bad and contagious, it's going to kill the world type thing.
Yeah,
you would see it prevalent there that they would have mass deaths on their hands doing
I would
mass
expect
graves.
yes, I would expect closer to 1 million people in China to have been infected if this was that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and at least half that dead by now
Yes.
for when it started
Yeah.
over there. The way they're touting it, that it's
it's the worst shit since fucking the bubonic plague.
Yeah, since mustard gas.
Now the bubonic plague. Now that was a fucking nasty illness. And
Well,
granted,
yeah.
it was mostly
Yeah.
because people didn't know any science in behind how that shit works. And they were mass graves for that. There was whole
1/3 of
freaking
Europe.
cities, whole towns that were wiped out completely, like nobody left.
Yeah, Europe and here.
Yeah. So I mean
early
that's
1800s.
Yeah, that I consider, a pandemic. This, no. I don't think it's I don't think it's going to be any worse than the flu. It's just it's new and we don't know much about it yet. But I don't think it's just me. I just don't think that it's. You can call me stupid, whatever. I'm not saying that we shouldn't respect it and all of that, but to go to the freaking stupid lengths that we are is ridiculous. To freaking shut down basically our whole economy and the whole freaking United States over this, I think is retarded.
Yeah.
I think for this to disrupt
And
the way
and another
everyday
consideration
life.
that you have to make with that statement, Sean.
Go ahead.
If this stuff was as bad as the government and everybody is really trying to put out to be, I mean, they've canceled NASCAR events, March Madness, NBA, hockey season on hold, spring kickoff for baseball's on hold. No travel here,
all the schools in my area,
no Europeans, and yada yada yada. If the stuff is as bad and as easily to spread as it is, and as the government's touting it to be, why have they not shut down the trucking industry, which would be one of the most easily and fastest ways for this to spread around the country, with the amount of drivers and the goods that are moved from place to place on a daily basis?
Yeah. You want containment.
They say,
containment. Things should not be going in or out.
People.
Yeah, if you want to contain something, you stop
one,
all in and out traffic.
Mm-hmm.
If they were that worried about it, they would be no in and out traffic. Nothing goes in, nothing goes out. But they won't.
Exactly.
But yeah,
ain't no one said nothing about shutting our fat asses down and giving us time off.
Yeah. If this was as bad as people say it is, why so few cases in an area packed with 4 billion people? 4 billion people in the size
both
of China.
Both on confirmed cases and deaths.
Right.
And they're stacked on top of each other. It's not like they have room.
Yeah, it's not like here.
On a whole, our country's what, twice as large as theirs, if not bigger than that.
Yeah. How many people in the United States?
They're stacked on top of each other.
How many people in the United States? Anybody know that at the top of their head?
Oh God, we're what? 300-400 million?
No, we're a million. We're talking closer to a couple of billion.
327.2 million.
Oh, we're not even at 4 billion.
Nope.
We're not even at 1 billion.
Not even.
Yeah. So yeah, China.
China has a mandatory. What they're allowed
cases.
Yeah.
Worldwide. And then we have here with 3 million people. I mean, if we do the math, there's not going to be nearly as many cases here in the U.S.
Oh, no. Not by a long shot.
Now, Italy, I understand, got hit hard too. I don't exactly know how bad Italy was because I don't watch the news that regularly. I catch shit here and there. And then if I see something on Facebook, I tend to look it up on myself and go check it out. But I don't.
Yeah, I think they have their containment zone. They containmented a whole northern section of their country, I believe.
Yeah.
With a nothing in out type thing, like you were saying.
How many people did you say live in China or populate China?
4 billion.
Well,
double check that, but that's what I'm pretty sure I heard.
As of 2017, apparently it's only 1.386 billion.
So
I mean, it's still a lot of people.
Yeah, that's still a lot of people.
What's the world population? course, it's only going to be an estimate. 7.7 billion.
Okay. But still, even 1 billion people versus how many cases
Roughly
they had.
1.4 billion to what? 200,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's a one
less
in
than a
what?
third, an eighth of the population, maybe. If even that.
Hang on.
I wonder what their cases of flu were.
Let's see. So we got 1.4 divided by 0.2. No.
Governor Wolf orders bars and restaurants to close in several counties across PA. Well, good. You can come here and drink and hang out with me. Maybe I should just hold a live stream every day this week.
I mean, I'm surprised you haven't heard of the so-called looting type thing or whatever. Somebody that's went wacko with the cops somewhere in the news. You mess with me, and then start spitting at them. I have the virus. Now you're dead. It's just crazy. God, holy crap! Look at that. What happened to the truck? I actually got one of those.
What?
It's been a long 2 weeks. Oh, a former brand new truck with 140,000 miles on it toasted its head gasket and head and corked itself down at the market in Philly.
Oh dear.
Your truck?
Yep. That's why I'm in this red lighted piece of shit. For the second round, we had to rent this in order to keep up with our freight requirements. But yeah,
right.
that nice new truck, done.
So yeah,
Just being rebuilt.
COVID-19, Ebola, H1N1, and SARS were all the big ones for the last couple of years. Governor Wolf has ordered all restaurants and bars to close their dine-in facilities starting Monday in several counties across Pennsylvania for 14 days. This is an effort to stop the spread of the coronavirus in the state. According to the release under the guidance of PA Department of Health, Wolf used the authority under... You realize this is going to literally
cripple everybody.
Yeah. Allegheny, Bucks, Chester, Delaware, and Montgomery counties.
All out by Pittsburgh.
Huh?
All out by Pittsburgh.
No. Bucks, Chester, Delaware, and Montgomery are all by Philly.
Oh, all right. Yeah, Philly area.
Allegheny might be out by Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's like his so-called, oh my God, it's going to be a huge friggin' ass blizzard. Shut the highways down for commercial vehicle traffic starting on this day. No trucks on the road.
And we got nothing.
Yeah, a 2-inch snowstorm, maybe a 3-inch.
But, I mean, that's the same thing. Is they shut down all the schools for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, think about that. Now, think about that. You shut down the schools. Those kids are home now. What does that also mean about their parents?
Someone's got to stay home from work.
Now somebody's got to stay home. Well, the thing is we live in health. I work in healthcare. What do you think happens when these parents now have to stay home? These individuals that we take care of, they still need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jess got stuck at work all weekend because one of her employees, because we're supervisors, so one of her employees called off. She had to fill that spot. We have kids too.
Mm-hmm.
So what sucks is, yeah, you're gonna send these people, tell these people not to go to work, tell them not to do this. Somebody's still got to go do the job, especially when you're in healthcare or trucking or something where the job still has to get done.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what it ends up being is, okay, so yeah, okay, you stayed your cushy ass home. Meanwhile, your other coworkers had to pick up your slack.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a point of concern for us with our warehousing, and wondering how many of the distribution centers and areas that we go to out west on the coast when it broke out here, we're going to say, we're not accepting anything for X number of weeks or whatever.
I mean, they're just going to grind this country to a halt, and then what? you're literally
Oh, would.
going to completely cripple the economy.
I mean, look at it now. Store shelves are empty of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not because the distribution centers do not have stock in their warehouse to go refill it, because they have a surplus. I mean, if trucks stop moving in this country, there's enough food and distribution centers and warehousing that would sustain the country for a month. After that, then it's duck soup.
It's just whatever. It's just so stupid.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
They're making a mountain out of a molehill, and I'm not again, like I said, I'm not saying that it's not going to be bad. I'm not going to say that people aren't going to die. And it could be somebody close to me. It could not. It could be me. Who knows? It would really suck for it to be me right now because I don't have insurance.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Because I just started a new job. So it's one of those things that, okay, it's nice to be prepared. It's nice to know that, whatever. But this is also why presidents lie to the fucking population, because avoiding this stupid shit.
Did anybody see his union address the other day?
No, I didn't. I just heard that apparently people aren't happy about it, but he can fucking tell people what they want to hear and they wouldn't be happy with it.
Yeah. Well, somebody
Just
made a
because it
mention
came from
to him
him.
about he was standing. I don't remember who they were talking about. Supposedly, got a picture of somebody that he was standing next to, some whatever the hell it was, a month or so ago, and now that person or people in that area that were close to that have developed this, and they were asking him when he was going to be tested. So we'll get to it. We're working on it. Okay, now if our president knows that he was just near somebody that supposedly is infected, and he's not showing a major concern to run out, oh my God, hey, thanks for being here, I gotta go get my shit checked out.
The other thing is okay, so that person's infected.
What's that tell you
That
about?
person could have gotten infected after that fucking conference. There's no
Exactly.
saying that person got infected before that conference or was sick at that conference or in any way had the freaking coronavirus at that point. I mean, geez, I stand next to Sally Bob.
Damn.
3 weeks ago. Next week he shows up with coronavirus. It doesn't mean that I need to go run and go get tested.
What a time.
That's because it's
I need an extra
you
camera
have
lens.
a bunch of people. You have literally a bunch of people that are. Goddamn! Would you stop being fuzzy? I think my fucking camera's got the coronavirus.
Well, it's got something all right.
But anyway, you got a bunch of people that are literally so freaking scared of their own damn shadows that as soon as somebody mentions anything, they go dumping off the deep end and want to go straight into a fucking panic. And I don't give a shit what it's about. You look about everything that we've gone through in the last how many years. Fucking racism, everything. One person says one thing and then all of a sudden there's a
Black
damn
Lives Matter,
wildfire.
I mean, all that shit.
Yeah, there's a damn wildfire and a freaking, massive movement to fucking make it look like somebody's doing something. And it's just one panic sweep after another. And I go back to the racism thing. You had everybody taking down fucking statues of historic monuments that have been up for hundreds of years. You have, all kinds of shit, riots and all. It's just one excuse out of another to act like idiots. Use your common sense, use your brain, and realize all being manipulated by fucking, social media. I'm a YouTuber. I live on social media. I watch it. It's exactly what it is. It's just one. Let me push a button over here. See you guys run over in that direction. We'll push a button over here. See you run in that direction.
Yeah. Now there's a good question. Y'all got young kids.
Yep. Well, no.
Is there some?
I don't. Thank God.
Okay. Well, Emily don't yet, but he will eventually. I'm sure.
Maybe.
But for those out there that do,
if he can find his penis.
Between the time I had mine and raised him, and now I'm in the grandkid age, is there somewhere along the lines things changed that when you started kindergarten, you checked your balls in at the door and let go of them? Because it seems like most anyone, especially the younger sex, just a bunch of damn whiny pussies.
I don't know.
Everywhere you go.
I do not identify with my generation. Let's just put it that way.
identify with your gender.
No, I definitely identify with my gender, baby girl.
I mean, you had your
Rip.
hair long.
There is plenty of guys out there with long hair. I don't want to hear that.
I mean, I watched an argument the other day at a gas station because this guy was trying to back out at his little itty bitty ass car. There was a big pickup truck parked beside him, and the guy's trying to back out of the parking place, cut too short, ended up hitting the side of the pickup in the back where the bumper is, bust his taillight out, jumped out of his car and had to tell the guy, "You crowded the line and broke my taillight when I was backing out." I'm like, what?
No, the truck didn't move. Your dumbass didn't know how to
Exactly.
freaking. I don't.
Exactly.
Oh.
But he said because that truck was so big and crowding the line, that's why he run into it.
Apparently,
Well,
Jess is called.
If you notice it was that goddamn big, how the hell? I mean, you just said you didn't miss it, obviously, because you run into it. But I don't know.
I don't know. It's just people are fucking idiots.
That's it. On personal notes, I can go one of two ways. One, the last couple weeks have been really freaking great.
Sorry, Chris.
In regards to new toys. On a negative note, we screwed the knee up again and we're on crutches. So yeah, life's.
Don't be changing the light, honey. Oh, it's that peach is not. Oh. Oh, that's better. The blue. Thank you.
In any case,
No.
I ran first,
Stop.
and 200,000 is 0.014% of 1.4 billion.
So
Not even a tenth of a percent. No, I was about to say, what does your camera have? Windshield wipers?
So that would be. How much did you say? What was the first point?
0.014.
So it's 1 in.
1 in 100.
Not even.
Not even.
1 in 1,000?
Yeah. I think that.
Just over 1 in 1,000.
Yeah, 1 in 1,000 people will get the virus. And if we even break that down even more, how many people die?
But not necessarily die from it. Yeah.
Dopey.
But the thing is that's if you're apparently my girlfriend's bored.
I think so too.
I see. They see or didn't see or something. But I mean, granted, that was that 4 million, that 200,000, that was worldwide. That was not just China.
Oh.
So the number's even less than that.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, it originated in China.
I've just used China.
Obviously, is behind us in their medical technology, I'm sure. But with their population the way it is, stacked on top of each other, you would expect this to be much more
Worse than
widespread.
it originated, so they've had it the longest. They said that there was a news spot saying that they said that the worst is over in China, which means they're on the downward slope. So the majority of the people that are going to get infected and have been exposed to it have already been exposed to it and infected. So that's why I chose to use that. Now, obviously, the amount of cases in China alone are going to be less than the amount of people, than the 200,000. And like your wife says that the mortality rate is 10 times the average flu season. Yes, but the problem is the infection rate is a lot lower than the flu.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yes, if you get it, you are more likely to die, but the chance of you getting it is less likely than you getting the flu.
Are you sure?
Why?
Because it's supposed to be really contagious.
I don't know. From what I heard, it's less contagious than the flu. I could be wrong. But I mean, even if you think about that, the amount of cases of flu versus the amount of deaths and the amount of people in the United States, versus the amount of cases, the amount of people in China versus the amount of people that, like I said, I don't know what the flu numbers in China were. That would be the best clue. You look at how many people got the flu in China last year or this year so far versus how many people got coronavirus, and then the death rate on that, and that would tell you about where they were at.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have the
Hey,
numbers for China as far as the flu.
You want to cause a bigger mass panic? Let it slip that anybody that got a flu shot this year is more susceptible to getting this because their immune system has been challenged by the new flu shot strain.
I doubt that. It's not the way That's not the way flu shots work. But okay.
True, but I mean, just think of the ape shit crazy that would go on if somebody let something like that slip. I mean, mass public is gullible. They believe anything they see in the news, it seems like, anymore.
Yeah.
All right. How does the
Can't think for
coronavirus compare with the
themselves.
flu? Um, Tens of thousands of Americans die from the flu each year. On several occasions, Mr. Trump has accused the news media and Democrats of exaggerating the dangers of the coronavirus. The flu kills people. Mick Mulvaney, the acting White House chief of staff, said in February, "This is not Ebola. It's not SARS. It's not MERS. It's not a death sentence." To many public health officials, that argument misses the point. Yes, the flu is terrible. It's exactly why scientists don't want any other contagious respiratory diseases to take root. If they could stop the seasonal flu, they would, but there may yet be a chance to stop the coronavirus, or at least slow its spread. In many ways, the flu is the best argument for throwing everything at the coronavirus. Here, look closer at what the similarities and differences are. Which virus is deadlier? The coronavirus seems to be more deadly than the flu so far. On average, seasonal flu strains kill about 0.1% of people who become infected. In 1918, flu had an unusually high fatality rate of around 2% because it was so contagious. That flu killed tens of millions of people. Early estimates of the coronavirus death rate in China were about 2%, but a later report on 1,099 cases from many parts of China, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, found the rate to be lower at 1.4%. So 1.4% of the population that contracts corona will die. In a recent speech, Dr. Tedros, cannot pronounce his name, screw that, Director General of the World Health Organization, asserted that the global case fatality rate for people infected with coronavirus was 3.4%. But it is a startling figure, but that's also considering areas that don't have the technology that we do either.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot different somebody getting sick in an area without good medical attention versus somebody getting sick in a place like the United States or even China, because they do have good medical.
Right there explains why you couldn't pronounce the dude's name.
Oh.
And that doesn't make
he's
it
from the World Health Organization?
Yeah. But that doesn't make him a bad, credible source. I'm sorry.
Oh. I'm just going to make a joke out of it. You can't pronounce his name because he's from who? He works for who?
Yeah. WHO officials later clarified that Dr. Toto's figure was based on a crude snapshot, based on incomplete data and heavily skewed by the intensity of the initial outbreak in China. The true death rate could turn out to be similar to that of a severe seasonal flu. However, 1%, according to editorial published in Journey by Dr. Anthony S. Foushee and Dr. H. Clifford Lane, it's really easy to type these names, a lot harder to say them, of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, and Dr. Robert, all right, fuck this shit. Maybe freaking actual stats here. 1% estimates that it is 10 times the death rate from a seasonal flu. Even a disease with a relatively low death rate can take a huge toll on enormous numbers of people catch it. As of Friday, there were more than 135,000 coronavirus cases and nearly 5,000 deaths. In the United States, there have been more than 100 corona cases and only 36 deaths. But because of the lack of testing capacity in the United States, the true case count and number of deaths are not known for sure. So which virus is more contagious? So far, the new coronavirus seems to be more contagious than most strains of the flu and roughly as contagious as strains that appear in pandemic flu seasons. Each person with the coronavirus appears to infect 2.2 other people on average. But the figure is skewed by the fact that the epidemic was not managed well in the beginning and infections soared in China and the surrounding province. As the epidemic comes under control, reproduction number, as it is called, will fall. By comparison, the figure for the seasonal flu is roughly 1.3. The reproduction for the flu of 1918 was about the same as the new coronavirus, perhaps higher. But that was before modern treatments and vaccines were available.
Well, that's a hell of a place to park.
All right.
Mm.
I had a four-wheeler slid clean down into a pasture through a fence backwards, probably about 100 feet off the road.
Goddamn.
In the current season, there have been at least 34 million cases of flu in the United States, 350,000 hospitalizations, and 20,000 flu-related deaths. According to the CDC, hospitalization rates among children and young adults this year have been unusually high. There will be even more illnesses and deaths if there were no flu vaccine.
Now, wait for the nearsayers to come out and scream that the reason a lot of that's been worse because this year was a mild winter for pretty much everybody anywhere. And, oh my God, global warming is destroying us.
I am trying to run a live stream here. You see, Jess gives absolutely no fucks. I'm gonna have to start locking the office door. Stop.
No.
No.
You know it's doo-doo when the mop handle comes out.
You're gonna break your measuring tape.
But anyway, my point is give this a couple months, and it's gonna be like your other half there, Chris said. The virus seems very similar to SARS. Yes, SARS is the thing is that SARS is the same virus as the cold, as the what we're dealing with right. Apparently, it's Jurassic Park. But anyway, all right, just throw me a like just because of the crap that I'm dealing with from my girlfriend right now while I'm trying to do a live stream.
Yay! Dinosaur.
But yeah, I say give it a couple months, and it's just going to be like the SARS and the MERS and the every other one that we've had in the last fucking couple of years. They're going to find out what makes it fucking tick, and the rate of it spreading will slow down and stop. I mean, we don't even talk about any of those anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be the same way this one is. You know, as soon as the media stops getting all excited about it, it'll disappear. It won't actually physically disappear, but you won't.
It
see
won't
this
be
panic.
mainstream no more.
No, the whole reason this panic is here is because of fucking social media. If there was no social media, the way it is, the infrastructure we have with Twitter and freaking Facebook and all that shit, this disease, this illness, this virus, would not have the panic effect that it's having. What do you got now? You got dinosaur again.
He's a dinosaur. Little dinosaur.
Biggie, you can't hold it in. You will explode. I deal with this woman on a daily basis.
Oh, I've been letting it out for like the past 10 minutes already.
You love the dinosaur.
This is why I'm with her, because she's absolutely amusing.
Mm-mm.
Completely fucking annoying. Don't get me wrong. She is completely fucking annoying, but she is amusing as fuck.
Tiny dinosaur.
Oh my god. You cannot do anything serious around here. Forget it. Unless she wants to be the one doing the serious thing. Yeah, I was recording a video the other day for the dishwasher that I put in, and like I didn't even get the first word out, and she's making freaking funny jokes in the other room as soon as I hit record, because she knew I hit record. Weren't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's impossible to record anything around her because she's just silly. Oh, by the way, Chris, there's another one of those stock cars, abandoned stock cars at the local racetrack for sale. What are you doing now?
Who knows?
Are you moving the camera? You're gonna pull it out of the thing and then it's not gonna work.
Oh no, you're fine.
Don't you stop! I'm gonna hog tie you and throw you on the bed and leave you there. I'll come back to you later. Yeet!
No, don't eat the dinosaur.
But yeah, I don't know. No, I don't want to scan my computer right now. Remind me later. Are you a bird? Oh my god,
So
it's a bird. It's a
old
plane.
NASCAR
No,
Cup car, or someone's run on dirt.
I don't know. It's a fucking stock car bodied car.
I know I'm big, but I'm not that big.
Bird, a plane. Oh my god, it's Superman.
I know a car.
I didn't say car. I said a bird.
You said a stock car body car.
No, the car. Totally different conversation. We started ignoring you again. The looks that I'm getting.
No.
I'm not allowed to turn it around and show your face.
No.
Don't do it anyways.
My live stream has freaking been hijacked.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't Barney Purple.
No.
Mrs. Foreman told me to turn the camera around on her.
No.
She has the camera. I
think we
can't
should
do
take.
it.
I think we should take a poll vote. You know, who thinks we should turn the camera? Say yay.
You run away with it? It's
Yeah.
attached to the back of my computer.
I'll unplug it.
You gotta get over there. I had trouble getting over there.
I'm smaller than you.
Yeah, yeah. She says not the first time it's been hijacked. Yeah, you're right. You tend to hijack it every couple of live streams. My God, she's giving me that stupid TikTok face. That like eyes together, tongue out thing. Not the just being bored. The coronavirus. Maybe we'll see how many of us are still here to
Good night, Grim.
I'm about to have a horrible crash.
Oh, come on. She knows she's supposed to be going vroom, vroom. What the hell?
I told you, what did I tell you there, Biggie? I said, like, the last half of my live stream is always better than the first half.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
No.
You're gonna have to like put like a string on it so it stays on.
He's gonna work all this week now making a new public disclaimer button to hit that pops up like what's in the truck and what's in the glass and all that. It's gonna be
Girlfriend in a hijacked live stream.
Yeah,
You're having technical difficulties.
Public disclaimer about the following unedited video and audio portion of this program may be harmful to your gut.
She's behind the camera growling because I took the car off my head. I'm gonna turn that camera around on you. I will put the car on my head if you come over here.
No.
No.
You can do it.
The thing is she can't hear any of you guys. Because if I unplug that to where she can hear you guys, then I have an
It's
echo.
gonna echo.
I'll start throwing Christmas for you in a second.
How long till it takes for it to be hijacked? I don't get that.
It already is.
It's been hijacked. Haven't you haven't you seen the
minus, like,
dinosaurs
10
and the fingers and the measuring tape and the... You missed the spoop. You guys got part of the spoop. But she was sticking, like, I have one of those halo lights up here, and she was sticking the cat's head through the halo loop.
Oh my god.
My god, the amount of shit that happened behind the camera before you guys even, like, started knowing what was going on. What are you doing now? Oh my god, disco time.
Oh my god.
Throw shit at me.
She didn't cue the Rocky music. What the hell?
She's threatening me if I don't put the car back on my head.
Clearly.
You're just gonna make your tree naked.
She could be trying to insinuate something else there.
What are you doing?
Do you really want to know?
I'm being threatened.
Paybacks are a bitch.
I told you I was threatened.
Oh my god.
He's gonna have to put his own closed circuit hidden camera in for next week. That way it's behind his head shining out.
Oh my god.
It doesn't have
I'll
rear view
click
mirror,
this
so
button.
I'm gonna decorate your glasses.
This is utterly humiliating.
Oh, it could be worse.
Don't say that.
But
Because you
Yeah, at
give
least
her
you're not-
ideas.
At least she's not dancing around one of them
She
genie
can't
outfits
hear
doing
me.
a belly dance, clacking her, tell them little things they wear in their fingers that they snap together. Sound like drum cymbals.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of, Big E?
What's that?
The bet that he lost when he had to wear the famous Christmas sweater.
Oh my god,
Oh.
the Christmas sweater. It's not in this room.
I don't know where it is.
Huh?
I don't know where it is.
Oh, I know where it is.
Good, don't tell her.
Right?
Mm-mm.
I can find more embarrassing things for you to learn.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have to start canceling my live streams just because the embarrassment things she starts trying to come up with.
I can see the next thing that we need to support the channel with is Sean a set of handcuffs and restraint straps that he could probably acquire from work to protect.
I don't
the
work
end
at
of
the,
show.
I don't work at the state hospital anymore. Remember?
I mean, I do have Firebird lipstick. It goes
That's
along-
all right.
I
we
am
can
not
fi-
wearing
We
lipstick.
can find you an Adam
It
and Eve
goes along
store
with
or
your
something there,
channel.
or
It's
Lions Den.
Firebird.
No.
Somebody
You,
had to send
you
you a
are on
bunch of
your
rope.
way. You're on your way to getting a spanked bottom. Oh, she's shaking it at me. You guys can't see it. She's shaking it. She's all about twerking.
Mhm.
I don't know.
That
if
was a
she's
cue to
trying-
cover one eye, Biggie. The show's really getting interesting now.
Yeah, I don't know
about
if you're old
spanking.
enough for this show, Biggie.
Yeah.
All right. Oh.
Someone's about to break out the hardboard of education.
Yeah. Well, it's 12 o'clock. We're going to give everybody another 50. Not that there's any really buddy in here, but
Yeah.
Is she doing? Yes, she is. Apparently, we're doing a shadow puppet show.
Which one's winning?
I don't know. I can't tell if that's a dinosaur. I don't know. You guys be the guess. I'm not sure if you guys can see it behind me or not.
Not very well.
It's kind of fuzzy because that's not supposed to be a direct light.
I don't know. I'm gonna put my guess in. She's trying to mimic the Liberty Mutual commercials with that damn emu they got on there.
Mrs. Formula says Firebirds, not cross-dressing. Apparently, my head's getting eaten. The problem is most of your shadow puppet is over this black thing and not. You're too close to the light. Oh my god, I'm being eaten by a snake.
Nom nom nom.
But anyway, I'm gonna catch you guys. Oh, you got 500. Catch you guys next week. I'll definitely be here next week. Maybe I'll have some decorations up by then. I don't know. Are you playing with the camera again?
No.
My God, I'm literally gonna have to install a lock on this side of the freaking office door to keep you out.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a little on-air button on the outside of the door. But anyway.
Putting on static electricity fields in the doorway when she steps into it makes her hair stand on end.
But alrighty. I'm going to catch you guys next week, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Not Western.
Yeah, not Western. It would be, what, 7 p.m. Western?
6 p.m.
6
p.m.
6 p.m.
Oh, they're 3 hours. Okay. So if you're in California, it would be 6 p.m. But out here, it's 9 p.m. because I don't want to start any later than this because, fuck, we already do 3 hours. So catch you guys next week, and so long.
Beast.
Have a good night. I think you're gonna.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right. See you guys later.
See ya.